All right, welcome to season 6, episode 14 of the Will Reads. Yeah, back again for some more Lord of Chaos. You guys ready? Excited?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, fun times. So, a couple of housekeeping things before I introduce our guest. If you guys are watching live, obviously you see guests on here. If you're listening later, I'll introduce him in a second. So before we get any further, I do like to give a quick shout out to new patrons. We do have one this week, so that would be Celeste. So thank you so much for your patron. Yeah.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
one new patron. And thank you so much. As far as anything else going on, we did a giveaway last stream. Irish Bear won that. We're not doing a giveaway tonight. And I'm gonna pick after I'm done with this the winner for our Facebook giveaway that's going on right now. So if you haven't, if I remember to. Otherwise it's going to be picked tomorrow.
He's going to try.
If you're watching live and you haven't gone to our Facebook, go to the Lord Reads on Facebook and you can find the giveaway there. It's for a book, so go check it out. You might be able to win a book. And that's all the giveaways going on. And then as far as guests goes, we are joined tonight with the wonderful voices of Jen, Tom, and Joe from Taka Ron Riyadh, the Wheel of Time Showcast, you guys have been on our podcast before, but for those who skip episodes or have never heard of you, if you live under a rock or you're not into the TV show, I don't know. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I couldn't help but notice you said the wonderful voices, and you didn't mention anything about our faces. So I'm a little...
Well, I'm used to podcasts. So, voices and faces.
We have
Alan is a dark friend, so
I have a face for podcasting, so I get it.
It's called honesty, Joe.
It's being honest. I appreciate your honesty and being honest with us, Alan. So we're a Talk Around Riyadh podcast. We focus mainly on the TV show and production, the casting, and all kinds of news that comes out surrounding the TV show. And then we also talk about like how relating it back to the books, adapting it, speculating, and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And this is Tom's first time. So last time we had Talk Around Riyadh, Jen and Joe could come. Tom could not. So welcome, Tom, to our little fun shit show.
I'm very excited to be here, and thank you for having me.
All right, thanks. Yeah. And as far as other guests goes, we do have a couple other announcements too. Next week, we're gonna have Nerdy Nightly on. So both Nerdy and Clarus will be on here live with us next Tuesday. That's gonna be on the 13th is when we record that. That episode come out on the 20th. So come back, join for that. And then as far as other things coming up on that Friday, the 16th, September 16th, we are doing Watch of Fortune. So that's going to be our next Wheel of Fortune game show here on YouTube. That's going to be a Saturday night. Actually, it's going to be a Friday night. It's going to be at 10 p.m. So a little bit different time. And the reason why it's different times is because our contestants needed different times. And that will be Gus and Allie from the Wheel Takes and Danny and Brett from the Wheel Weaves. So
oh man,
nice. It's going to be a very, very fun show. So that's all I got for announcements. So we always go into personal life. As far as personal life goes, I don't really know. Like last week, we had Labor Day weekend and here in the States. So I went to my aunt's house for like a cookout, but like we go to her house every weekend. So like it wasn't like because they have a pool. They have a pool. So like we go there every weekend because they have a pool. So but
because you love them.
Because I love them. And because I love them. Yes. And they have a pool. And we're trying to teach my kids how to swim. And they have a pool. Wow. So but yeah, so the cookout was fun. Kids enjoyed it. My son and daughter went. My other son, the youngest one, had a little slight fever, so he stayed behind with my wife. Wow. So it's just me and the two kids. But yeah, other than that, not much else happened this weekend. It was very much a weekend of nothing, which is good. It's good to have those weekends every now and then.
Well, that's not true. We had fun.
We did. Yes. Yeah, we recorded live on YouTube Chris's Cosmere content as he finished Shadows of Self, book 5 of Mistborn.
Yes.
So yeah.
Book 2 of Air 2.
You're plowing through.
Yeah. Yes, Ian, where you at?
I'm only a couple chapters in. It's moving very slow.
That's okay.
Well, I'm reading it before bed, so like I'm in bed, and I'll get couple paragraphs in, maybe a page, and then you do that thing where you read a page and then you reread the page. And
Yeah.
then you're like, I wasn't listening. Let me reread it, and then I'm asleep. So
After twice, it's time to go to bed.
it's all over. Yeah, a lot of that. Yeah, is that all you got, Alan?
That's all I got. Yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah, my Labor Day weekend was pretty awesome. Those of you that have been around the podcast for a while know that last couple of summers I stayed at my dad's house at the river and had my boys out there with me the whole time. So we used to spend a lot of time out there. This summer, not so much. We've just been busy with so many other things. But we did Labor Day weekend, the whole weekend out there. All three of my boys came, including Ryder. He's 17, so he doesn't always come to all the functions, but he showed up, and it was great. The weather was perfect. A lot of tubing. We did battle tubes. Alan, you would be proud. Ryder got a concussion. Two of the other teenage boys couldn't close their hands completely because their grip was totally destroyed. I mean, just ultimate battle tubes.
So what is battle tubes?
I was gonna say this sounds like a game we would play. And
So you get a
injured
motorboat
horribly.
and you get two tubes behind it on two different
Preferably
ropes.
small ones. The smallest tubes you could put an adult on.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then you put two adults in each tube, and then you try to knock the other person off.
And
It's
the
really-
driver's trying to knock both off at the same time.
Yeah, so
you-
they're taking like
you don't
huge
do it with the
turns,
little
trying to make you
kids.
slide across
Yeah.
the wake, and and then as the tubes come together, the main thing to do is you try to kick the tube out from underneath the person.
exactly.
Because that's the go-to move.
My kids kept saying
There's
I
two
was mean
people
because I
on
would do
each
that.
tube, or
No,
there's
one
one
there's
person
one
on
on
each
each
tube.
tube.
On each
Okay,
tube.
Now, you
They
could
come
do
together.
two.
That would be
Understood.
crazy,
That's-
Jen. That
No,
would be
that's
crazy.
Heads are- Yeah. How dare you suggest that?
That sounds
We're not
dangerous, Jen. Come on.
Yeah, we're not-
So
Usually
the-
someone jumps onto the other person's tube and tries to rip them off, and then the other tube that
Yes.
there's no rider starts slamming into you as it flies
Oh
up in
my
the air.
God.
It's very safe, and
Sounds it very safe.
Apparently.
Everyone was
bet-
wearing proper gear.
So only one concussion.
only one that was reported. But a lot of people were very quiet after we got back to the dock. Now, so we switch off who goes against who. So you're switching off who you're battling against. And apparently one guy was upset about the way the last battle tubes went down. So when his former opponent was going again against somebody else, he just reached up and really quickly yanked on the rope as hard as he could. And it pulled the tube right out from under the dude that was sitting on it on his knees. And for a split second, he was floating through the air. And we saw him look down and go, oh, shit.
Oh, Looney
That's when a
Tunes.
concussion came. This was a face first into the water.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That'll do
pretty
it.
bad, I guess. But nobody died. We saw
Only a few
dolphins
days,
all the
though.
way up by my dad's house, which
Oh,
Alan
wow.
might
That's-
appreciate this, but that's very
really
far up
far
for
the
them to go.
river.
Yeah,
Yeah.
James. Yeah.
Yep,
No, it's the
well, way up the
Mattaponi.
Mattaponi,
Oh man.
but way up in totally fresh water.
Oh.
We're guessing with all the storms off the coast, they're just like, screw it, we're going upriver. That's my
Yeah.
guess. But of all the years we've been out there, it's the first time I saw them.
Yeah, was it a 95? You drive north on 95 towards New York. You go across the Matta River, the Po River, and the Nye River, and those all combine to create the Mattaponi River.
The Mattaponi.
That makes sense.
They were very clever. in
I
how they
remember that
named
from
those.
American history.
Yeah, you would if you know about Matoka or Pocahontas.
Yes.
The Mattaponi lay claim to that group of Indians, but of course there's others, or Native Americans, I should say. There's others that lay claim as well. But they're like overlapping, and they've probably the families merged and all that jazz. So,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah, Chris.
Beats my
what-
weekend.
Still in the midst of finalizing wedding stuff, so we're like done with that now. And we're just kind of patiently waiting on everything to fall into place for there. We went and visited our kitten. She's gotten larger.
Awesome.
We're also thinking about starting to GoFundMe for her brother because it's really sad. So Oscar's the brother. He's a white snow leopard, as they call them. And
leopard.
well, that's what they call it. It's not really a leopard.
Yeah.
I wish it was a leopard. They look like leopards.
That'd be kind of
They
cool
really
to have
do.
a pet leopard.
Yes.
A little scary too, but
What if it was deaf?
anyway, continue.
Nobody likes the deaf leopard joke.
Got it. Took me a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
with one arm.
Anyway.
And he was a drummer. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Yeah, so the brother apparently, like, he's still up for sale and we just can't figure it out. He's the sweetest kitten ever. The owner of the mothers and the fathers and the breeder, she walks in the room and she's like, "It's y'all's fault." I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "This kitten will not bond with anybody else. He will only get out of his bed for you guys. He comes over, like, he plays with us, and the sister lets him play with us. Now there's a third kitten in there. She tries to come join the play. Both of them like attack her.
oh.
It's like, nope, not having it. But if Lily or Oscar play with us, it's cool. But when Goldie tries to get in the mix, no. And then again, Oscar has not been sold yet because he's clearly bonded with us, and she's like, he has zero interest in any other people but you guys.
Good
Like,
salesperson.
she is, but all of her other cats in that litter and the other sisters' litters have all sold. This one has not.
Yeah,
And
I've heard
so,
when I bought my car last week, they tried to do the same thing. They're like, that car right there is so lonely because it's the only car that wants you when you come to this
They're
lot.
normally parked next to each
It
other.
normally like starts just fine. It starts fine for you, but everyone else doesn't start for. So we really need you to buy this second car too. And
so needless to say, like, I'm about to start a GoFundMe for Oscar to break him out
Got
of
him.
jail.
I can't joke on you because that's why I kept my fourth kid because he got along with the other three. So I was like, well, I guess you could
might
stay.
as well. You have to.
Yeah,
At
yeah.
that point.
Couldn't sell them.
No, couldn't sell him. Try.
But no, other than that, we did a family game night. Thoroughly enjoyed that. In the midst of that, recorded some Cosmere, and then went back to the game night, which turned into karaoke night. And then
Yes.
got the guest bedroom organized and some of the house really cleaned up, and then just relaxed on Monday. So it's a good weekend.
Cool, man.
do you guys want to share anything? You guys don't have to. It's up to you guys.
I'm curious.
I didn't
I
prep.
wanna know.
I didn't do anything exciting this weekend.
I mean, we never really even introduced Jen. Like we said, Joe, then Tom, and then Jen just got completely left.
That's all right. I'm here. They know me.
Jen had an
Yeah.
action-packed weekend.
How are
Yeah.
the chickens?
The chickens are good. So
Like,
the two new
Delicious
ones
good or they behave good?
No,
Well, I
eggs,
don't know
come
if they're
on.
delicious because they're still alive. I haven't actually tasted any
Okay,
of
good.
them yet.
Well,
But
Yeah, I like how you put "yet" in there, Jen.
the two, yeah, like I'll ever taste them. The
I'm
two
trying.
old ones aren't like too happy with the two new ones yet. They haven't like
Okay.
necessarily bonded, but I think they eventually will.
Okay.
oh yeah.
With my chicken expertise.
I tried
Over
to
the
talk
last 3
Chanel
years.
into it. I'm like, yeah, we should get some hens. Like, then we don't have to pay for eggs. She's like, what?
That's true.
I'm dying for somebody.
You just
in
have
this
to pay
community
for
to get
feed
hens.
and that stuff. But
Yeah, but we can make that last.
I think the feed's pretty cheap though. So
Yeah, and they eat
Yeah.
ticks and fleas and all sorts of other things. So
Yeah.
they're great bug catchers.
They are.
Oh, then maybe you're selling me on it. Maybe I should get a
Yeah.
hen because I hate bugs. I hate birds and bugs, but I hate bugs more. So I should
Yeah,
just
they
go
love
for
them.
the hens.
They'll get lizards and small snakes too if you live in that kind of area.
Yeah.
And
I
and
hope I
frogs.
don't.
They eat everything.
Especially a rooster.
And-
like he
And
Not by my house.
possums. And possums.
If they can fit it in their mouth.
Possums.
get out of here.
Yeah, possums eat lots of ticks.
Oh, possums.
Oh, I thought you meant
Yeah,
chickens
hens
and
eat
possums, Alan.
possums. I was
I
like,
thought
I
you
don't
were
think so.
No. Possums
Yeah.
eat
I was
ticks.
waiting for the
Eat bugs.
punchline too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ticks. Possums.
Quick.
Ticks.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. That's fine. I definitely have possums.
All right.
So,
You guys, Tom.
Tom, tell us about your chickens, Tom.
How many chickens? I'll say this. So this weekend, for the first time since COVID, I took the kids out. We went to a local baseball game, minor league baseball game, which was very nice.
awesome.
First time, literally, that they went to something that wasn't like another family member's house.
Very
The kids are
cool.
real young, so I mean, they went to school, but that's not fun. They don't, that's not exciting for them. So
School's fun, Tom. School's fun.
yeah,
Sure.
Don't you back
Um,
up school.
school is
The more
cool.
you know. The more you know, kids.
Yeah,
Stay in school.
So- stay in school. Yeah, so that was pretty cool.
Hopefully
But
people
like,
listen to
Jen actually did cool stuff this weekend. She has like a big Labor Day like bacchanalia with her whole family.
yes.
Oh, fun.
We have like we dress up in costumes and have parades and stuff like that. So it was fun. I was there
that's
from
really
when
cool.
I started Wednesday because my husband has to build a float for the children's parade. So we
That's
start
awesome.
Wednesday. I just came home
Okay.
Monday. It was fun. And I accidentally logged into the show that I ditched out of on Friday night because I don't know how to use Discord apparently. So I was like, oh, I thought when you clicked in, it just like I could just listen. I couldn't say anything. So I joined the group. I joined the chat and then it was like 30 seconds.
So you have access to talk in that chat.
Okay, well, that's what happened.
I
You
might
get
Makes
a
for
little
good
bit of a-
content.
Is anything embarrassing in there?
There's no such thing as
I hear
bad
you guys
content.
like, I hear Jen. Oh no.
I was the only one who could hear you. Well, us and the people listening in Discord,
Yeah.
Tom couldn't hear you,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
She was
well.
like, "Do you hear Jen?" I'm like, "That's a ghost."
I died and now I'm haunting the podcast.
yeah.
That's perfect.
Speaking of
Yeah.
costumes and parades, I forgot this. My wife did go out and buy costumes for Halloween for my kids, for all 3 kids. they're-
Already?
Yeah, because they're obsessed with Sonic the Hedgehog. So my son wants to go
Oh.
as Sonic.
Aw.
My daughter wants to go as Amy Rose. I think it's the girl hedgehog.
Mm.
And then
Yeah.
the baby's going to go as Tails. And I was like, well, then who's dad going to go as? Like Dr. Eggman. So I have to dress as.
Amy
Dark
Rose?
friend
Is that a
indeed.
new
I
person?
don't know,
yeah, it's the
she's-
cartoon.
Yeah, she's in the
Oh,
cartoon.
not okay.
She's not that new. We're just
Yeah.
old.
Yeah,
Not from
there
like
you go.
1991. Is she after 1991?
Yes.
My
Post
my
say-
older
she's
son
the
was born like
first one.
last year.
She's from the late 1900s, Jen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Knuckles? You can go as Knuckles.
Yes.
This is a dirty joke somewhere in there, but I'll leave you
Mm,
guys.
yeah.
I'll let it ruminate.
And Joe, nothing happened with you, or all quiet?
No,
for-
I didn't do really much. I visited my parents on Sunday and I bought a log splitter on Monday. That was
Oh,
the
that's
extent of my-
awesome.
Hey, I love log splitters. I
Yeah.
actually like splitting the logs myself though. Just getting the axe out and just
I was doing that for a while, Chris, and it's just
it's painful
it's
after
a lot of
while.
work. It
It's a whole lot of work.
hurts the
I have a
back.
whole
And
entire
it's a great way to
pile
stay in shape.
of unchopped logs that I've been putting off. That I just need to buy a log splitter.
Me too. I gave up and I gave in and I bought a log splitter. Nothing fancy. It's
Yep.
still a manual one, Chris, if that makes you feel better. Like I still have to like crank the things to split the
Yeah.
logs.
Cool.
Okay. Cool. You guys ready to jump right into these chapters?
Sure.
All right. Let's go. Now that we're 20 minutes in. So let's go with chapter 27, Gifts. Our chapter symbol is the dragon. And yeah, so we start with Egwene's point of view. Egwene's just returning from a meeting with
My
Gawain.
students, they could ask me 3 questions.
Sorry.
Is that Gawain? Is that Gawain's voice?
I have no idea what it was. I just put my phone down. It was like, oh, there's noise. Where's that coming from? Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
Anyway, gifts.
Yeah. So Gawain.
G-I-F-S. So Gawain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kissing. And
Eggy's
cuddling.
dreaming about Gawain and how dreamy he was in meeting him. So that's where we start.
So much so that her feet
Boring.
didn't touch the ground.
Uh,
It's a
You
cute
guys-
love story, right?
Do you dig Gowan and Egwene?
You know,
As we got into it, I was like, barf, ew, oh my gosh. But then I had to stop. I'm like, okay, Ian, stop being 40 and like bitter and think back to when you were young and like your first love. And I was like, dang it, I was worse than they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's cute, I guess. And so far, no harm has come from it. I'm imagining that might change in a few chapters. I don't know. But, you know, it's all right. It's okay. I still barf a little bit in my mouth.
just a tiny bit.
it messes with prior prophecies that we've had about her ending up being one of the 3. So in that sense, I'm like,
Oh.
single
yeah.
work. But now that we know that there's a solid 3 in Rand's corner, then I'm not too worried about it. I think it's a good thing for her to have somebody to fall in love with, especially if somebody dies. Like if he dies, then she's gonna totally flip her shit, and then her powers are just gonna like grow exponentially. So I don't think he's actually gonna die, but you know, it would make a cool plot twist.
Yeah.
I'll say Chanel just started the next book and she hasn't given me anything, but she's like, oh, you guys just wait. Like,
She's a winner's heart,
just
right?
Wait. Yeah. What is it called?
Winner's heart.
Yes, Winter's Heart. Yep, that's where she's at. She just started. So she's just like, oh, the theories. I'm gonna have to talk to Alan about all of my theories. So
Cheating
So
on you.
just for context, you guys. So when Chris first started this podcast, he was single. He's met this girl, got engaged, is getting married next month, and she has now started reading the books. And of course, since we're going to snail's pace, has blown past us. So now he has to live with her as she is now a much more veteran reader than he is, and he's been doing this for almost 3 years.
And on top of that, she's like watching YouTube videos now. She's gone to the
Wow.
Great Blight. She's found people to start like watching on YouTube. I'm like, yeah. And then
That's
I'm,
gotta
like,
that's gotta
peeking
sting
over-
a little bit.
I'm peeking over her shoulder, like looking at the title chapters. I'm like, ooh, that the title of that chapter just seems real interesting. I wonder what it's about.
I wonder what happens in that chapter.
But the
Maybe
chapter
I'll find
titles
out.
they're so misleading. It's not like Jordan writes, all right, chapter 47.
Choices.
Egwene dies. You know, it's not it's nothing like that.
No, it's
That's
like
right.
cup and bottle. The why is chapter
What the-
47 cup and bottle?
That sounds like
When
an inn. The cup and bottle inn, right? Isn't that?
Yeah, maybe.
No,
Sounds
I
about
It's
right.
like a
That's
video
what
I
I'm
saw
saying,
on
like-
YouTube. Like,
No, that's
That wasn't YouTube.
One
Three
cup,
chicks,
one
one
bottle.
I'm trying to. I didn't know. Hey, I don't know how clean or not clean you wanted us to be.
as dirty as your mind will take you there. That's-
there you
Yeah.
You might even say something clean and we'll make it dirty. So yeah.
But no, going
Yeah.
back to your question, I think the Egwene and Gawain thing is cute. I think she's doing the right thing in her mind by yes allowing herself to be distracted, but then still knowing what her objective is, but not pulling him into the middle of it. But as a person who is literally trying to help a man who holds kind of like the fate of the world in his hand, I think she should have pressed Gawain a little bit more. That's,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
I like that.
so
idea.
far, big bonus, she got Gawain to back off from wanting to kill Rand.
Mhm.
At least for now.
Oh yeah.
So that's a bonus. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I wasn't looking forward to
That's
that.
one.
They just randomly meet and he goes chasing after him, like, I'm gonna take your head, and then Randall just goes zap, and then everybody's upset. So
Oh, that would
Yeah.
be an interesting turn.
Yeah.
And we learned in the
it
beginning.
might still
too-
happen, but who knows?
Yeah. And we learned in the beginning here too that Elida and the Aes Sedai there are looking for her too. So she has, and she kind of knew that already, but that was confirmed. And
Yeah.
so the next scene, she goes to the Wise Ones. They're talking about the Aes Sedai that are there waiting for Rand. Gawain kind of walks in on this meeting, and the Wise Ones are like, "Yeah, Rand just returned. She's gonna meet with the sisters." And Gawain's like, "I gotta go, like right now." And she's like, "Bust out
I
a
gotta
tip. I gotta bounce." So, yeah. I mean, obviously, we get this a little bit later in the chapter, but when you were reading this for the first time, before you got to later, what did you think about Rand's decision to come meet with the sisters? Did you think anything was up, or do you think we'll talk about it more in a second? But
Well, I mean, just right off the bat, I feel like he is so, I hate to use words, full of himself, but so confident. That's a better word to use.
He's much
so
more confident than he was. Yeah.
that I knew he was going to meet with them at his leisure. It was going to be on his terms, and that they were not going to get what they expected. Now, did I get exactly what I expected from that? No, but we'll get there. But I wholeheartedly expected him to meet with them and put them in their places really quickly. So there's that.
right.
Yeah, I'm in the camp right now where I think Rand needs to engage more with all of the powerful groups in this world. The longer he waits, the more opportunity is for them to come under somebody else's influence. We already know from how we've been getting the prophecies. Yeah, we've been getting prophecies and piecemeal from different cultures in this world. So, me selfishly, I want him to just go and meet everybody so we can figure out their version of the story and figure out how it all fits together. Yeah, like Rand totally needs to open the letters from these. What are they? The wind talkers. The wind.
We're going to jump chapters completely.
Skipping up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But like,
the wave mistresses.
yeah, the way which is like
Completely agree with you.
when he puts this stuff off, I'm like, no, like, come on. At the same time, like, he knows he's strong, but he doesn't know if he's strong enough for certain situations. So if he's smart about it and could kind of control like the terms and when they meet and how many people are around, I'd like to see him be more aggressive with shaking hands and meeting folks and all that jazz.
This,
I mean, you
this has
gotta-
kind of been Rand's MO since like book 2. I mean, like even when he first got to Kyrian, he was just burning letters. Like, I don't want to be with anybody. And he's been keeping this act up this entire time. Like, I don't care. Like, eventually you gotta lead. Like,
Right, exactly. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
You said it in 20 seconds. I took 5 minutes. Sorry, guys.
I mean,
He
you gotta
tries
think
to
about
justify it, though. Yeah.
Mhm.
We're jumping ahead next chapter, but he tries to justify it by like, oh, I scoured the prophecies and there's nothing about the sea folk in there. So I think that's
Sure.
what he's trying to justify. Like, well, I don't need to talk to them. They're not important because they're not part of the prophecies.
Well,
Right,
that's the
right,
point
right.
I was going to make. If you think about any of the exec peoples that you know, and I know you know quite a few, they never look at the resume. That's for somebody else to do. They talk to the person in the moment and make a decision. And it's either yes,
Yeah.
I want you, or no, I don't. And that's the end of it. And he's at that point where he's like, you're sending me letters, but you know, when I get to you, if I get to you, I will. But if you manage to get to me first, I'll make a decision. That's kind of where he's at. That's his world.
I like that. It's a
Yeah.
job. It's a job interview.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be
Yeah.
aggressive. Be aggressive.
So
Uh,
we
so-
had Egwene clearly concerned.
Yeah,
that he
and,
left
and
tonight.
before we get to the scene where Egwene bursts into the Palace of Arrogance, anything from all this before we get to Rand?
Nah.
The idea of sending Sorlia to talk to them, and you know,
Yeah.
that was kind of a funny little joke on her part that everybody thought was funny. So
Mhm.
I don't know. Egwene's kind of grasping for straws, though. She really does need somebody to kind of interject here and make sure that the Aes Sedai are distracted for as long as they can be, and also to keep them away from Rand until she can figure something out, because she's slowly losing, well, a little bit of control of the situation she's had, if she really had any at all.
I think it's interesting too. Like she kind of feels like she's she has to get to him to give him all this information that he doesn't already know or doesn't have other people around him to tell him. Like she thinks like I'm the only one who could tell Rand the how to correctly act in front of these Aes Sedai
Right.
when he's got other Aes Sedai already with him.
Yeah. And they had Moraine with him for however long he did, and he learned. He's no dummy, but
Yeah.
she's not thinking about the current Rand. She's thinking
He's
about
not
the-
always a dummy.
No.
Yeah.
She's thinking about that
Sometimes.
Two River guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm getting worried about with Egwene? She's not going to keep up this I'm a Aes Sedai thing forever. So how's that going to unfold? If the Aes Sedai find her, obviously they know she's not Aes Sedai, and we've already got some hints. Right, we've already got some hints on, she's pretending to be a Green, so Greens get first dibs on. Is it on punishing her or claiming her or
Claiming her.
Something like
And
that?
punishing her at the same time.
Yep. And then
Ooh.
also we know the Aiel, at least at one point,
Spinky.
considered themselves servants of the Aes Sedai or something, or they have toe to the Aes Sedai or whatever it is from betraying them in the past. So
yeah.
if the wise ones find out she's not truly Aes Sedai, will they feel obligated to
She'll have
rat
that
her
big,
out or
big
turn her
toe.
over?
She'll have double toe.
Yeah. Big toe.
Whoa.
She'll have that. She'll have that fuck you toe. Yeah.
Think about it. She'll have toe for lying, toe for allowing the Aes Sedai to carry on the wise ones to carry on the lie, toe to the Aes Sedai for the lie, toe because she's becoming a wise one, thus she's becoming like Aiel. She'll have just toe all around.
Look at Chris understanding Giotto. Look at this. A first time reader actually understanding this.
I know if
So much
Gawain's
toe.
in defeat, he's gonna have some big toes waiting for
And
him.
then she's gonna have toe for putting Gawain where he is. Like there's just toe all around. She's just towing it up.
Yep.
Hope
What do you guys
Gavin
think?
likes
Jam
feet.
there.
Gawain likes feet. Okay.
Egwene's got a lot of toe.
There you go.
So Egwene bursts into the Sun Palace, goes finds Rand, and Rand's just like, whatever. So very arrogant about it, like, yeah, I'm gonna meet with them, and they're discussing. She's like, well, you have to be really careful. You should be. And Rand's like, what? Should I just meet with your spy Aes Sedai? The secret Aes Sedai that you don't think I'm supposed to know about, that I know about? Like I'm supposed to trust them more? Yeah. Okay. Like Rand's
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, he already, in a previous chapter, he's already said this that he's kind of wrote her off as an Aes Sedai as well. Like she's become more and more like an Aes Sedai. He doesn't trust Aes Sedai. He's already starting to put a wedge between him and Egwene. I at least
Sure.
that's been said in the text. So and this kind of adds a little bit to it, but it's definitely.
But there's still
that
some
same
of
type
that,
of feeling.
back from home connection because
Oh, sure,
if
100%.
it was any other real Aes Sedai coming in there and talking to him like this, he'd have a very different tone. And there was even a
100%.
little playfulness about the dusty, smeared face and all that jazz.
Mhm.
So,
Oh yeah.
but you definitely see the transition, not
Mhm.
just in the words what he thought before, but and how he treats her,
Yeah.
and how all of this unfolds. Like, yeah, I'm gonna take your advice. Yeah, sure. That's what I got planned.
But there was still a little bit of that like childishness coming from her. Like, I won't have him see me clean myself. What?
yeah,
For real?
Oh
Like,
yeah, that's so weird. Like she felt embarrassed, so
Yeah.
that would give him higher ground if she cleaned herself in front of him. Like
I'm like,
you've
your
known him
biggest
since you were a kid.
your biggest asset would have been to clean yourself in front of him. Then he might have listened.
But
all I know is when I first started doing this dating thing again, and went on a hike one weekend with this girl that every 10-15 minutes would stop and fix her makeup. I was like, you lied on your profile
That's
about loving
different.
the outdoors. No,
Yeah.
I was, anyways, didn't return her calls.
Ugh.
No.
Listening now.
Shit.
You have toe.
Chris is going to turn to Oprah over here, hand out toe everywhere. You have
Oh,
toe.
yeah.
You have toe. You have toe.
It's kind of what it's
So
like.
easy to earn
Yeah.
it.
It's very easy. So, yeah, well, they're talking this briefly, but it's cut short because Samara comes in to notify them that the Aes Sedai are there early. And Rand's kind of a little upset about this because, he's like, I'm supposed to summon you. Like, and Egwene had just finished saying, like, about the respect she has to say to Aes Sedai, and Aes Sedai control everything. And when they summon you, you go, especially the Amryn seat, and yada, yada, yada. And Rand's is like, whatever, I'm the Dragon Reborn. People dance to whatever I say, not to what they say. Who cares?
This is where he played it wrong. They would have waited that hour and 5 minutes outside for me because I wouldn't have let him in right away to begin with. They would have waited at least 5 minutes after their hour. Now you got an hour and 5 minutes to wait in the hall.
That's a good point.
And while you do that, invite people in and have loud meetings about really
Exactly.
menial shit.
Exactly.
Like what
Have
color
the
the
bar
blind
come
should
and
be.
play.
Yeah,
Like-
right. And make sure they can hear it all.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the game of houses right there. That's some Dice Limar shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who better to
Where's
do
my
it to
drink?
than Aes Sedai?
Sounds like
Bring me some food.
someone's been sales before.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Make 'em wait a little bit.
He also, right during this conversation with Egwene, right? He's totally talking to Luz Theron or hearing Luz Theron, right? 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't she notice him?
Yeah,
like,
he talks
start,
to talking to himself. And she's like,
talking to
"Has he
himself
gone
and-
mad already?" Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I know you are there. You are there. Answer me. I know you're. He's there. It's like, just
Wait,
giggling in the
We haven't hit
background.
the spot yet where Luz and Rand are talking, and Rand lets him know, like, you're in my head. And Luz is like, wait, what?
That's next
No, I'm-
chapter.
Yeah.
okay.
You're
Why
ready
don't we get
for it.
there? Because that's a big
Yeah, we'll get
reveal
there.
right there.
And I
That's
think I'm
significant.
equally excited about chapter 28 only because we're actually having like a live reading of 29 and 30. So that means some really good shit better go down. So there's
I am a dark friend.
Yeah. Tom, Joe, and Jen, let me tell you. So I got this. This is where we're at, right? Marked off. From the very beginning of this book,
we
everybody's
started that in January.
Ooh, you just wait. It's going to be so exciting. Ooh, just wait. It's going to be so exciting.
You're waiting.
And it probably does somewhere in here. But all of this here has been interesting. There's been some
yeah.
nuggets in there.
It's really
no.
like the last little.
Well, you're
chunk.
actually getting
Yeah,
into so I'll just let you know that it's gonna get real exciting very soon. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
We
You
started.
guys
in
I don't know. I
January.
mean, they do things very slowly on this show.
No, the
It's-
next set of chapters, your next episode is some good exciting things that happen.
I feel
I
like
want
you
to
are.
believe you all. But every single guest that has come on from, again, the beginning, they're like, just you wait.
I'm-
Just you wait.
I
also,
will say,
comes.
We also
I will
get
say-
mega fans as guests, so like everyone like gets excited about like the buttons on Egwene's dress. Like,
right.
Oh, that chapter.
The
Also called
buttons.
choices.
Now I'll tell you, the chapter of her in the dream was well worth it. We finally had a moment.
There's been some good ones.
Wait,
Yeah.
which one was this?
When she got pregnant
When she
in
got
dreams.
pregnant in her dreams.
They're doing
When she gets pulled into
Sandman
Gowan's dream?
crossover with Gowan.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So what you're saying,
What
Tom?
were we reading?
No, I think that I will say I don't have the chapters memorized, so I don't know if it's going to be like whatever it is or whatever. But somewhere in this book, there are things that I think everyone thinks are exciting.
See, I
It's
can
not-
appreciate
we're not
that.
just putting you on.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not like next week. It's in there somewhere. I
It's in there
appreciate the
somewhere.
honesty,
I
Tom.
think everybody forgets, like, and even when I was doing my recent reread, I forgot, like, I thought this one part happened was a much larger part of the book, and then I realized no, it's only like a short part
Yeah.
towards the very end.
Right.
But there's other
Yeah.
stuff before that that's exciting too. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Here's
not to
my
knock
one
away-
question: will I get my parent chapter?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the other thing. Everybody
Yes.
said this is gonna be very parent heavy. That's impossible. Even if the
No.
rest of the
No,
book
it's
is
not
about Perrin.
heavy.
no,
It's just that
no.
last book, Perrin wasn't in the Fires of Heaven at all.
At
He
all.
is in
Yeah,
this
Yeah,
book.
okay.
That's all I said.
Compared
He's
to the
in this
Fires
book.
of
I didn't say
Heaven,
heavy.
it's-
Yeah. It's very,
Yeah,
very
right.
heavy. You know, if you go from,
I mean, we have
from
his father
0
and
to
mother-in-law, and still haven't had him yet. Like,
Yeah.
if you go from
True.
0 to 3, I mean that's a threefold increase. I mean that's a big increase. You know, it's
Yeah.
a lot more.
Fair enough.
So
But you get Rand
Anyway.
meeting some Aes Sedai, Tower Aes Sedai. That's pretty fun.
yeah,
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 Yeah.
no,
It's a
these,
fun
there's some
scene.
good stuff here.
This scene
Had
coming up is
Fane
pretty
in the
fun.
next chapter.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll get there.
All right, take us there,
So-
Alan. Take us there.
So yeah, so the Aes Sedai show up. Egwene starts freaking out because she's like, they can't see me. They're after me too. Like I have to leave right now. Is there a way to sneak out? He's like, oh, just stand right there, stay still, don't move an inch. And he's like, why? What? And doesn't realize what's happening for a couple seconds, and then realizes, oh crap, he just weaved something around me. And she looks in the mirror and realizes she's gone.
well, first you have
she-
like
she-
the Aiel gasp, like, I thought she
Yeah.
was naked at first. I said, oh, or maybe he
Yeah.
like had transfigured her into another person, like to look like an Aiel. Like that's what I thought. That would have
Oh,
been.
I didn't even think of
cool.
that. That'd
Like
been
that. That's the first thing that went to my
Yes.
mind. Like he transformed her into like bear or something.
Yeah. Or just made her look like an old lady or,
Or
whatever.
only-
That'd
yeah,
have been
something
neat.
like that. But
I like how when she realizes she's wrapped in it, she's terrified of touching Rand's taint.
Yes.
Like she just,
The
I'm
tank
gonna
gets
get the
such a bad
taint on me. Taint. Perfect.
But I mean, I guess invisibility's cool too.
Yeah.
rap. It wasn't up to Chris's standards. He's like,
I
nah,
just wasn't
okay.
quite. It'd be one thing if he had like given her a cloak and then she could like run around and do mischievous stuff. Then it'd be my kind of thing. But
Cloak of invisibility.
yeah, something
My
like
Favorite
that.
magical item. One of
Yes.
my favorite magical items.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's that he just made her invisible. It's like, you could have
And
just
kind of tied it to the floor so she couldn't really go anywhere.
you could have just made a gate and let her go through it, and then at least she
What'd
would have
you-
seen it and felt it.
What do
There's
you
a
think
lot
about?
of things they could have done.
I think she wanted to. He probably knew that she would want to.
She said
stay
she'd rather
there
go under the
anyway.
bed or something, didn't she? Didn't she
Yeah.
say like I'd rather hide under the bed?
Or I think he suggested that, but he gives good reason. Rand's not. You're right. He's not a dummy all the time. He preferred Egwene being there listening. Maybe she'll notice something that he doesn't notice. He still has as much as we just talked about him pushing her away because she's Aes Sedai, he still sees a usefulness and probably still trusts her more than other Aes Sedai. So, I believe what he's saying. Like, hey, Egwene, just watch, listen, let me know if you see something.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
But
think
at the
that's where
same
you were going
time,
first, Jen.
At the same time, I think maybe he is an asshole and he knew what he was about to do and he wanted her to watch him do it.
I think
Could do
yeah,
that.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I
He's
actually-
like,
on-
he's like,
on-
watch how nice I can be.
A little nefarious.
on this, I have
I
two-
won't do what you tell me. Oh, a little Rage Against the Machine. All right, go
I've
Rand.
two conflicting things that I want to ask your opinion on in regards to possibly Rand's motivation in this scene, right? Regarding Egwene, right? Anyway, so do you think he's sincere in his belief that like, oh, she's Aes Sedai now, so that's why I'm going to push her away. Or is that like
I think that's the cover.
that's the cover, right?
He-
That's the self
He
justification.
is pushing people away because he's afraid of hurting people. That is his justification for Egwene, is that, I can't love her like I did at one point,
Can't protect
and
her.
I can't protect her the way I'd like to. So I'm going to use this excuse of her being an Aes Sedai to get her out of my way. That way, when I do what I need to do, I can do it without her being in the way at all, be it her judgment or being her needed to be protected, quote unquote.
And
So-
maybe not an excuse. Maybe there's a little bit of depth to it in that he's realizing, one, nobody's really safe around him. He cares about her. So we saw it earlier with him trying to push Matt and Perrin away and everything like that. Maybe he's realizing, so she has a place to be and belong. She has people and somewhere she could be a part of, and she would be safer there than with him. So yes, it's because she's more and more Aes Sedai, but maybe it's more of a love thing and he wants to protect her and is pushing her
mean,
away, not necessarily the
It was highly
distrust.
likely that had Moraine never shown up, they may have been, a couple.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Or more likely they'd be dead, Chris.
Well,
Moraine didn't show up.
Not just Moraine, but the Trolloc and the whole situation. Period.
Well, Rand wouldn't be dead because he's Taviran, but
Yeah.
Egwene probably
Yeah.
would have been dead.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, the chances would have been higher for sure.
And then, Alan, to answer your question, he rips a hole through the weave. Rather
Oh,
than-
for the
yeah. She asked him, "How do you make the gateway?" He's like, "Yeah, it's tear a hole."
Yeah.
Like
which terrified her.
Of course it would.
But he got terrified by the way she mentioned it. She's like, oh, like she was talking about Teleran Riyadh, and he goes, whoa, that sounds like literally like moving or rearranging the pattern. And he was like, there's no way I could do that.
No,
Yeah.
but if you put the two together, now maybe there's some real power in that.
Okay.
But
So-
there's not a woman in the world that wants you to tear open the hole. It's too much.
Yeah, you're supposed to ease into it and
Both of you guys just put your hands over your
Anyways, so that was a really good analogy for what happens next, though, Ian, that you brought up earlier with Reggie's machine.
yeah.
because that's exactly what happens. It's like, so I don't know if you guys knew this. Like BBC One invited Reggie's Machine on live BBC TV in England back in like the early 2000s. And they said, but as long as you don't swear. And they said, okay. And they signed contracts. And like the first thing they did when they on stage is immediately went into fuck you on Twitch.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
Like
like,
on
when they
live
told
TV.
Jim Morrison not to say
Yeah.
that, like, girl, you couldn't get much higher.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
told him not to say it, and he said he wouldn't, and then he, of course, belted it out.
I was
Yeah.
thinking of The Simpsons when they're like, instead of what is it? It's Red Hot Chili Peppers or something. Or,
Yeah.
what
Oh
is it?
yeah.
Oh God,
I
now I'm
forget what they
blanking
When I
on
get it,
it.
want to get it, put it
I
in
said,
you.
yeah,
It's a lie.
what I gotta get and put it in you. What about what I want is that I want to hug and kiss you? Well, that's better for everyone.
Slightly different.
Yeah.
Or South
Let's
Park
say-
saving up all of its curse words for one epic episode.
Yeah.
So the Aes Sedai come in. Three of them. You get Corinne, is it Nasun? Nasun? Is that how you say it? And Galena. Of course, Egwene doesn't know who the third one is. They bring a chest of gold with them as a gift, and Rand acts like he's really, really appreciative or really, really kind of like googling over the gold. Do you think that's an act? I mean, I kind of think
I
it's
mean,
an act.
first and foremost, he just introduced himself as Randall Thor.
Yeah.
And they came in with their titles, I'm emissary of the White Tower, yada 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 yada. He's like, hey, I'm Rand. How's it going?
Yeah.
But I
And
love
also-
how Jordan writes that though. It was almost more powerful because everybody there knew
The
what the title should
simplicity
be.
was a
Mhm.
marked
And
contrast. They had not mentioned the Dragon Reborn, and neither had he. But somehow his leaving it out seemed to make the title whisper faintly.
it's beautiful.
But
It like
before we get
echoed
to,
behind him and he never said it. Like that's anyways, I love that part.
also before we got to that, the first thing Rand said to them was like, "Stop channeling."
Yeah.
And they're like, "What?" And he's like, no, I'm serious. Stop. And they're like, we're not channeling. I was like, no, if we want to do this, this is how it's going to be. Otherwise, get out. Like,
You're not gonna channel in front of me. Yep.
that's it.
He's like, don't even hold Sidar, right?
I don't even hold it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
And
so,
then,
but these dummies, they release it, and he's like, okay, we're just gonna go ahead and start over. We're gonna pretend like you just walked in and you weren't disrespecting me by channeling in here.
Yeah.
And like, even then, they're like, there's no way he actually could tell. That was just luck.
Yes.
Mhm.
There's no
Exactly.
way he could tell. Total coincidence.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So yep. So off from Gold. He gets excited. Fake excited, I think. And tell him he has to come to the tower. Which of course he goes, oh sure, but I'm ready. I feel like it.
I was kind of
Yeah.
planning on it anyway, so this is convenient. I got a couple things to do.
Yeah. But,
So if y'all can just fuck off for a little bit,
Yeah.
about a mile away
Mile
at
away.
least.
Mhm.
He
I don't wanna
was
see
like,
ya.
he
don't
was
wanna hear
acting
ya.
like an Aes Sedai with that. He's like, yeah, I'll come when I'm ready.
Yes.
Very Aes Sedai way to answer that question.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
It doesn't even work.
I'll come when
I'll
I'm
come
ready.
when I'm ready.
Oh, come
Yeah.
on.
It has always been the case.
Anyway, so yeah. So what do you think about this whole interaction?
What?
Humble as a mouse
But-
is the way he said he would be. I love to meet that mouse.
Oh,
I
you
get some
also,
lessons.
right? There's also something else too he does right before the chest, right? Well, actually, I think it's right around that time, right? He starts inspecting all the servants, right?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
he,
just
like,
to
grips
make
the
sure they're
girl
not
by her
Aes Sedai.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So he's
and
a lot
Egwene
smarter
catches
than-
on to that.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Elaine's starting to think like, I'm sorry, Gwen's starting to think like, oh, maybe he's not as dumb as I thought he was.
Yeah.
Until he opens his mouth.
and then
And
he
notice-
uses Sidene.
Yes, to close the chest. So
Yeah.
as much as he was like, you will not channel in front of me, he had no problem doing it in front of them, and they didn't even say nothing about it. So he's letting them know the power structure here.
Mhm.
As much as Egwene got all pissy with him, like, you wool-headed, blah, 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 and like cursed him out. All he did, he treated them the way they normally treat everyone else.
Mhm.
So how is that not fair? Like, what's wrong with that? Giving them a little taste of their own medicine. I mean, I know they hated it, but now they know how everybody else feels when they walk into.
And
a
I
room.
love the way he's been phrasing this. He's like, when I reach the tower, yes, I look forward to the day I stand in front of the tower. It will take a little time, you understand. I have commitments to meet here first in Andor and elsewhere. But yeah, sure, I'll be at the tower. No problem. I'll be. He's not saying he's coming to visit our new Amerlin and to bow down at her feet or to create a truce. He's like, nah, I'll be there. Wait till I get there. Wait
Yeah.
till I bring my group of guys with me when I get there. And I'm gonna bring some other yeah, I'll be there. All right.
Yep.
I know there's a dark friend in there. I feel like he already knows it. He's like, I'm gonna be there in full force. And when I knock on your door, I'm gonna be knocking with a few thousand.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be the end.
So I got a question that y'all won't answer, but I'm going to ask it anyways. So we know about if you got 13 channelers, especially 13 female channelers, they can do XYZ pretty much to anybody, right?
Mhm.
But what if Rand does show up? Like, let's say he gets a 1,000 dudes that can even channel just a little bit. And if it's the same theory as with the female channelers, even if they can channel just a little bit, if he gets them to link, does that mean he can?
They
Are you
can't.
on-
Men can't
they-
link without a woman being in the circle.
Oh yeah, but he's got
He's
some
got a
women that he
Egwene.
can.
Are you saying
got some
talking
women-
about the female Aes Sedai joining?
Right. So he
Yeah.
probably has a couple he can link in there. But I'm saying if they
Yeah.
link, will that be enough for him to defend against 13 or more? Like, will it counteract?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. I think that's
Yeah.
how it works. It's just
Okay.
like it's just basically like I think it's 13 linked together.
I think
Can
13 on
overpower-
one.
Yeah,
if
can
you're in
over,
trouble.
no matter
Like
what
Dragon
the
Ball Z
power
Super?
difference is, it's just like they can always overpower the
Right.
one.
But with men, I mean, this is getting more meta type stuff that it's not really spoilery, but yeah, I mean, so with men, like because Joe mentioned a little bit, so with men and women together, you can link more than 13.
Yes,
But you
and
have
we
to
have
have
well,
men and
we've
women
talked about that.
Yeah.
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 It's like connects. There's a certain piece you got to put in there to keep going, or else it
Yeah.
falls apart. Yeah.
Yeah. Or a human centipede.
Yeah.
It's a good question.
Even better.
It's a good question from Zool. Chris, do you think that Rand plans on attacking the White Tower or the Black Tower, or with the men?
Intimidating. I said yes in the comments, but intimidating them is a better word to use. Now, if he discovers that there's a dark friend, or worse yet, that there is a chosen one there, then yes, I can see him all out
Okay.
fighting.
If there's for a second.
Yeah, I can't see Rand finishing his chores, then going, okay, I'm ready to go, and go with this big escort that the Aes Sedai have.
Mhm.
I can
Mhm.
see him zapping into the White Tower with his crew, and they're mainly there, kind of with that mindset I was just thinking about. They're mainly there to make sure the Aes Sedai can't gang up on him. So I
Mhm.
see him going, but on his terms,
Mhm.
right?
Sure.
Not necessarily to fight or take over, even if it's just to have a conversation. It's a
I
display
see
of
him
power.
going soon without them even knowing. Just popping in, probably just casual visit. Like, hey, how's it going,
That'd
guys?
Right. Just like
that'd be cool.
gateway right into the Amerlin's chambers. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'd
what's
love to
up?
see that.
Hey, what's up, Elida?
Because they don't even know he can use gateways and travel, because they're talking about how long the road ahead of them is and things like that. Like they don't even know he has that ability.
Well, they
But
know something's
meanwhile-
up, right? Because there's
They know
rumors
something's
of
up
him
of
going back and forth.
or appear in different places. Yes, but they don't
Yeah.
know how it's happening or
Yeah,
But look how
they're-
he sprinkles that in there. He's like, I've got some commitments, here in Camelin, and I got to bounce around for a little bit. I got to take care of these things in all these places.
Yeah.
So even
Yeah.
he's kind of hinting at it, throwing in their face, like, I'm gonna jump around a bit, but I'll get
And
back
then
to
he's
you.
like, now y'all can leave. I'm done with you.
Yep. It says stay away from me at this point. Don't come back. Yep.
Yeah.
So
Don't call me, I'll call you.
And then
Yes.
what do you think? Like as and
That's
as
his
they're
life.
leaving, he throws that one little like almost a whispered like
Oh,
how's Elida doing or something.
Alviarin.
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 Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Alviarin.
And Galena responds, a little clever there, Rand.
Mhm.
It's definitely a tactic, when interrogating, or when you're interrogating but don't want to seem like you are. You can randomly throw those things in there and see what kind of response you get. So it's pretty slick on Rand's part.
You think
But
that was
do you-
a slip up on Galena's part, or like Rand's Tavira-ness?
Gosh, you're getting me down the theory rabbit hole. Yeah, exactly. Right. That's where my brain just went. So I'll
But do
say,
we really
as I was
so-
reading, I gave all the credit to Rand. I'll say that. Yeah, as I was reading this.
I sometimes watch these YouTube videos. It is like people trying to take down scammers, and there's like one where he's like talking to a scammer. He's like, don't talk to me like you're my mother. And he's like, oh, your mother? You mean Sandra that lives on Fifth Avenue? And they're like, like that little dagger. Like, nah, what do you think about it?
But I
Alviarin?
mean, we later find out she's really not friends with Alviarin.
Right? No, she's not.
So to give Rand any type of credit, it's just like
He just
give
throwing
him
random
too
names.
much. You got to give Egwene some credit. She's like, don't believe that.
Yeah.
Don't believe that decision. Like Egwene has got a certain level of sharpness to her that she didn't have before.
Mm-hmm.
And I really do see all the potential in her if she can just get out of her own way. Like, I can see her being a major player and potentially, like I said, either being the next Amelin or being the one to stop the Amelin. One of the two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then of course we had this. After all this, the Aes Sedai leave, and Egwene, comes out and kind of scolds Rand for the way he acted.
Runs right through the taint,
Yeah,
covered in
Right.
taint.
Covered-
He's got it all over. Kind
Yeah.
of smells of it a little bit.
Mhm. Yeah, not pleasant. So, anything from all this before we switch over to this last little conversation with, I guess it's Nason's point of view.
Well, he's like, I did exactly what you wanted, like smiling at her the whole time. Like, I didn't tell on you. Like, I answered the questions, like, got rid of them. You know what? I'll even sneak you out of here in my laundry baskets. Just put my underwear on
Get
your
somebody
head.
able to carry out.
Just put my loincloth over your face, and we'll see you later.
Yeah.
She said, "No, I'll walk out of here on my own 2 feet."
Yep. So then we switch over to the Aes Sedai that just left, and they're discussing that they sensed Egwene's presence there. They think it's Moraine or this
One of
mysterious
them
green
said
sister.
Egwene's presence.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Nasoon is the only one who realized it.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
She's the one
Yeah,
to
this
watch
is-
out for. She's our trouble child.
That's what Egwene said, right? She said
Yeah.
Nasoon's the dangerous one.
Yeah.
We got to get rid of her,
Yeah.
or we use her.
And that's what we end this chapter with them just them ending this meeting, but kind of recapping what just happened.
Nassoon's like, I'm just gonna collect more specimens. Y'all leave me alone. Y'all are dense.
She also doesn't she also note something about she asked Alina about Alviarn, right? Doesn't she mention?
She does,
Yeah.
yeah. And
And she's like,
says something
files
like
it away.
Reds are very rarely will have friends outside their Aja.
Yeah, and she like files it. She like makes a mental note of that.
Yeah.
She says something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think they thought it could also be the mysterious green, which it really is, the mysterious green.
Just not a real green.
Just yeah.
But don't you think she's gonna become a green?
That's what she says she would pick, right? She said she would be
She
green.
says she would, yeah.
Yeah.
I think she goes straight to Amerlin.
I'm
think
not
she
go that far.
I think she gets discovered, busted, back to Tarvalon, but that's at the same time when we merge with the rebels, and somehow the negotiation gets her in the seat.
They punish her by making her Amarlin.
But by
Tough job.
her being,
You know what?
but if
Tough
that's the
job.
only way to bring the the rebel faction together with the Empire, then yeah.
Because she's also accepted by the wise ones, so then you're kind of bringing all the ladies together.
Mhm.
All the channelers.
Yeah.
She's got the milkshake.
Yes.
Brings all the channelers to the yard.
But to your earlier point, will she still be accepted by the wise ones when they find out that they've been lied to?
She's
Oh,
got
the
to do
toe.
something to
She
fix
has.
that toe.
As long as she meets her toe, right?
Yeah. She's
That's
gonna
a
have
lot
to
of
meet her
toe.
toe somehow.
It's a lot,
A lot
of
of
toe.
toe.
She's lying to a lot of people, Egwene.
And that's like the worst way to get
Powerful,
it is
powerful people.
well, lying and spying. Yeah.
Yep. But did she lie or did she just perpetuate a thought?
That's lying.
No. That's
Lies
two totally
by
different
omission are
things.
still lies.
Two totally different things.
I don't know. I teach my kids lies by omission are the same thing.
I hope your fiance is not
sometimes
watching
worse.
this, Chris.
Oh, she knows. She knows she has to be on her toes with me. Why she picked me, I do not know. Why she stick with me, I should say. I don't know. But
Yeah, lying by omission is the same thing. In my book, at least.
Yeah.
So anything from this chapter? Any questions you guys have for these guys? Jen, Joe, Tom?
I'll just a quick thought. What do you think's going to happen with this particular, right? The Aes Sedai coming to visit Rand. You know what's going to happen after this with the Aes Sedai and Rand? Those Aes Sedai and Rand.
I'm more concerned with the why they're channeling in the house and what the channeling is all about. Are they storing power?
that's right.
Are they creating something? Are they
They're making a golem.
like what is it that they're doing in there is what I'm more
Yeah.
concerned about, because I see them getting fed up with Rand, and whatever it is they're doing is going to play a huge role in
They did
something
mention-
here.
What is
They
plan
did
B?
mention there's a plan B. If he
Yeah,
did said no,
it's-
but they
right,
didn't say what it
yeah.
was. They said there is a plan B.
Yeah,
And he
that's
didn't
right. they
technically
did.
say no. So, like, how impatient are they going to be?
Well, and they can't harm him because he's not a dark friend, so it's got to be some method to capture him.
Well, they all agreed, right, that we need to stick with the plan, right? Because I think that was somewhere at the end here where they were talking about like what to do, and they were like, "We got to stick with the plan. Let's stick with the plan."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they all agreed on that. So what is the plan? What's the plan?
What is
They're
the
gonna
plan?
capture him some way is the goal, I'm sure.
What's the plan,
golem? They're
Jen?
making the golem.
Jen, what's the plan?
Jen, what's the plan?
I'm
Yeah,
not telling you the plan.
Jen, what's the plan? Jen's
They're going
crazy
to
song.
lure him
Just
to
say
the white
Raph,
power
Say Raph,
with the power of music,
Jen.
The power of rock.
the power of rock.
the pick of destiny.
Yeah, right.
How about the power to move you?
They're gonna do a rock montage, and before Ren
Dude, if
knows
they
it-
cast Jack Black as his man, I am going to lose my shit and be so excited.
Oh my god. That would be really good.
He could be Pater. He'd be a perfect Pater.
As the counter Gleeman, Jack Black, and you have the Tom, and Jack Black. Yeah, that'd be great.
I'm all in on it.
Yeah, I'm all for it. Along with, I still need to go back and do. I just don't have time to do it. We've talked about it that I want to go back. I think I talked about in your show, like add laugh tracks to the whole season.
Oh yeah,
Like a Seinfeld spoof. We're gonna do it. I'll probably get demonetized and our threatened copyright strikes and all sorts of things, but
but it'll be worth it.
it will be. I'll make a separate YouTube account just for it so I can let it just die in ball flames and not care. All right. Anything else before we move to the next one?
No.
All right. Let's get to chapter 28, letters. We got a ruby hilted dagger as our chapter symbol.
Good old Pat and Fane.
We know our boy Fane's coming.
Mm-hmm. We start with Rand, though. We're in Rand's point of view. And Rand's in a bad mood, because of Luce Theron. Because he's actually, I think, come to terms with the fact that Luce Theron's real in his head. He's his own person, and he's had restless nights of sleep, and him and Luz are definitely having this weird shouting match later on. But so
Yeah. Well, and he's like even worried about sleeping because he's not sure if he'll lose control.
okay.
And that's bad because somebody like Rand definitely needs to get his rest. Not from a beauty standpoint, but just, you're already risking going crazy. If you're already at a high risk of going crazy, losing sleep is a bad idea.
Yeah.
I have a question about this because I don't remember going back, like the Berylane stuff, why like Berylane's avoiding him. Is that still going back to the beginning of Shadow Rising? Is that why she's avoiding him?
I think no, that's because of the hanging of what's his name.
Yeah, since the hanging, she's been
when the
dipping on
Aiel,
him.
when she didn't pass judgment, and he had to pass judgment, and he's like, "Why didn't you do it? Like, why'd you wait for me? Like, this is against the law. Like, so, like,
Handle it.
and then she's been sheepishly avoiding him since that.
Okay, I couldn't remember. I was like, is this still from the Shadow Rising when the
No,
mirror attacked him? The mirror images attacked him.
no,
or whatever it was?
it's from when she was a place in charge of Kyrian, and then she did
Gotcha.
carried her duties, and Rand kind of dressed her up and
Yeah.
down.
What's that guy's name? Like Mangwin or something like that, right?
Mangan.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh,
Rest
there we
in
go. It's in
peace,
chat.
Mangan.
Now it's hanging.
Hanging Mangan.
I'll be here all night, folks.
Yeah. So Rand forms a gateway, goes back to Camelin. So we're bouncing from Kyrian back to Camelin. And he gets there. Avian is there and is not happy. Because last time he left, he's like, don't tell Avian I'm leaving, and left without her. And now he's back. And she's
It's not even the
happy.
important part. It's not that
Not
she's not happy. It's that she's not clothed.
naked.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking when I read the books now, I think of these scenes and I'm like, are they going to make them naked in the show? That's what I think of every time there's a new.
Hope so. Anyway,
I'm like-
didn't he leave with the letter first? Didn't he get a letter before he left? We need to make sure
Oh, yeah, he did.
Letters keep popping off.
he got a letter from, was it a river
One of
folk? No.
One of the
From a
wise.
sea folk.
The sea folk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just keeps avoiding them.
Oh wait, no, he got another letter from what's her face?
It was from one of the Aiel brought it, the letter, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh no, it was Reen. It was
No.
Mistress Hoffer, right?
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah.
It was
Hopper
the second
brought it.
letter.
Yeah,
Oh,
from
yeah.
the sea folk.
Yeah.
Sea folk letter.
Yeah. There's letters
All these
everywhere.
letters. Very exciting.
Appropriate name for the chapter.
So yeah, Avian is naked and runs off to get clothed, and it like immediately comes right back after like 5 seconds, fully clothed and had her hair done.
Yes. He makes note
You
of
know,
that.
he notes it. He makes note of it. Like,
That's quick.
huh? Okay.
Now, did she really do her hair really quick, or is Rand just so in love with her that no matter what her hair looks like, he thinks it's gorgeous?
Yes.
Did she channel it real quick? Like, do
Yeah,
some,
did
She
she
do
just
some
just
air
threw it
and-
up in like a messy bun or something. And
Mhm.
Yeah.
he likes that.
He like that,
Sometimes those
like,
are pretty hot.
like that,
Yeah.
like that.
Like you didn't try very hard. Like you tried hard, but it doesn't look like you tried hard.
It's like
Like a
being
lib-
casual cool.
Yeah.
Like a librarian, like a sexy librarian.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's another way to go.
All you do is put the glasses on. Instant.
She had a pencil in the
hotness.
hair to hold it up.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah.
Ooh.
Take the glasses off, and then you put the one part, like
I'm gonna
like
need
the
5
eye
minutes.
hole thing, the
Yeah,
ear
yeah.
hook in your mouth.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, you
I'm
know what
gonna
I'm
go
talking
run
about.
to the restroom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, we're done.
Okay, everyone, take a
And that's
minute
the
to
chapter.
think about
All right.
sexy librarians. And
All
we'll come right
right.
back.
So yeah. So Avienda comes back.
Guys got
and-
really quiet there.
You're all thinking about the librarians in your
Yeah.
life.
The librarian Avienda.
Yeah. So I had this English teacher.
It's a good spin-off show, right? Sexy librarian Avienda.
We had an English teacher.
I was waiting for Ian to jump in. Like we.
Wait, you had an English teacher, or you
Oh,
had an English teacher?
we
Well, until I'm beyond.
Hey, only I did it. I did it Gawain and Egwene style. It was
Oh,
only in my
Yeah.
dreams.
It's more than just a dream.
What was
Anyway.
he reading again?
She might
Yeah,
be
so Luce-
listening,
Luce-
so I'm gonna not say anything else.
Luce there. Yeah, she might listen to this. Luce
she's probably
Theron.
very proud.
Yeah.
No, she knows about our podcast. But yeah, we talked about it.
And she's
kind of
big into
old.
reading fantasy, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh,
She's read all of
Boys,
Hi.
I didn't know.
it.
No, she knew.
She knew. She knew.
She had a milkshake.
Oh my God.
All the boys.
Anyway, so Luce Theron is in Rain's head a lot during this scene, talking to Avienda and talking about death, and Avienda starts to get a little worried about Rand.
yeah.
And before Rand can really figure anything out, Luce flees his mind, and Rand says, "Nothing's wrong." Typical guy answer. What's wrong? Nothing.
He just smashed his mirror while shaving too. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
how cliche is that?
Mm-hmm.
Haven't we all done that?
Yeah.
Isn't that just a normal Tuesday?
Over the fact, though, that Luz leaves him with the death. Death comes. That's very important to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, death comes.
I mean, does that have anything to do with being around Avienda, or
No,
is it still like a?
literally, death was on its way,
Yeah. I think Luce is sensing.
Oh.
Yeah.
which means
Yeah.
that Rand should be able to develop that power at some point too.
Well, he
Hmm.
does, and Rand does sense it as well later. But yes.
Yeah, but
Not as
much
soon.
later. Yeah,
Yeah.
Luce Theron's always talking about
Luce
death, though.
Theron, who's a crazy person, who's like a second soul in the body, who shouldn't have senses, is like, hey, yo, guess what? You got trouble
Is-
coming.
Is Luz a
Bye.
bit of a coward? Yeah. If that's true, doesn't that make him a bit of a coward?
He runs away.
Yeah.
That might be why he's never ended it yet.
Brave.
Well, he's always yelling. He's kind of just crazy. I mean, he's like, "I'm Luce Theron Telemon. I am me."
I always
Like-
picture him like running down a hallway and disappearing into like a tiny door.
This
slamming
is
it.
also the,
Like,
this is
when you
also the
say, like,
scene
It's
where
like
like,
a room. It's like a room in
I
Rand's
picture
head.
it like a Looney Tunes
Yeah.
thing. He's like,
isn't it also the
"Ah."
scene where like Luce is like, wait, who are you? He goes, I'm Rand. Like, wait, you don't know who I am? You're in my head. He goes, I'm where? Like,
Where am I?
Yeah. So that's this part. So I got hung up on this quite a bit. Like, and I don't know how to describe it, but it's not just like a echo of Luce Theron. Like it's his full consciousness. And with that back and forth, they're not merged at all. Like they're both occupying the like space in his head and in his.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know what the implications of that are, but like I guess I didn't quite consider it that way before.
Two
so I
souls,
haven't
one
stopped
body.
and- Yeah, that's never good. But
Another video.
more
Don't Google it,
importantly,
people. Don't
I saw
Google
that
it.
on YouTube, right, Tom?
yeah. Man, I mean, if it's post Taco Bell, sometimes it does feel like your soul leaving your body. So maybe, I don't know if it's a, yeah. ugh.
I
A
guess
couple times. Yeah. Well,
I'm really curious for real, like where, like, you know, I was just joking with Jen that I don't think that there's like a room inside Rand's head where, like, you know, Luce Theron is like getting his morning paper, reading, and just yelling crazy stuff out the window. But like, what do you guys think is going on here? Like with like, do you think it like you were saying like it's two souls in one body, or like I'm
Is
But
it the
Luz
voices
isn't-
of is the voices of his previous life? Is it it's two souls in one body? Is it Rand
Well, I
going
mean, we have-
crazy?
it's
We
yeah
do
like
know as well that time travel is a thing. And
We
so
Yeah, because Tam does it.
Yeah,
Tam does it all the
Oh,
time.
Time
because
traveling
of Tam.
Tam.
I forgot about
Yeah.
Tam. Sorry.
Like,
obviously that was book 1, bro.
yeah, come on, catch up. You have not
That was
listened
3
to
years
our
ago.
podcast.
I forgot all
So-
about time traveling Tam.
Yeah.
So
It's got a
maybe this is-
DeLorean.
maybe this is the way they travel. Maybe people from the past or from the future like travel into the body of their
Consciousness.
other self.
like
Ooh.
being John Malkovich.
Isn't
that
it
would be
like-
cool?
Isn't that basically the whole plot of Assassin's Creed, the video game?
Exactly.
Yeah. But isn't it interesting though that Luz Theron is confused about what's happening? Or is
Completely.
that
Yeah.
just part of that transitional phase where you are confused? But
Or maybe
I would have
this
thought
whole
Luz,
world's been a big dream, and Luz is gonna wake up in the actual world
It's
having
like
to
Bob
battle.
Newhart.
more importantly, so okay, if I assume, which I do, that it's like two consciousness like existing inside one head, but obviously Luz comes and goes. When he goes, where the fuck is he going?
Right,
just
where
get
does he
quiet?
run
Does
away
he just-
to?
Right. So there's a place that he goes. Question mark? I don't know.
He gets pushed
Mhm.
back into the back of his mind, I guess, kind of.
He could. He
That
just sits
real
down in a chair and gets
show that
quiet.
Came on back in the day where I gotta remember it.
Time traveling Theron, the triple T. It works.
It works.
It's just like where I push down all of my, my own
Wusa,
feelings.
he woosahs him out of his head.
hmm Yeah.
Wusa, Luz Theron, woosah.
I'll tell you the only reason I asked is because this was something in my first read, like especially around around now,
Quantum
like,
leap style.
that I was really trying to figure out myself. So I was just curious about your takes.
Gosh,
I think it's really-
I've dabbled in some Matrix type theories. I don't know that that's it. I don't really feel that as much anymore. But I guess it's could be something like that.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I mean, he knows stuff that Rand doesn't know, so
hmm
there's something
Again,
going on.
quantum leap. Scientist finds himself trapped in the future, trapped in somebody else's body, keeps leaping body to body, trying to get back to his body because we like to potty.
So Luz Theron is so they should have Luz Theron, Scott Bakula play Luz Theron then in the
Mhm.
TV show.
Quantum
Dirty-
Leap was one
Dirty
of my
Cats is
favorite TV shows. I'm all in on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So so after the whole interaction with Avienda, we start talking about a lot of toe, like a whole lot of toe.
Oh yeah.
All the
Everybody
toe.
has toes. When you think about it, you got at
Mhm.
least, well, on average 10, maybe.
Well,
Well,
I
actually,
mean,
not on average. There's probably more people with less than 10 toes than there are
there
people.
are people
with
that
more than
lose
10.
that lose legs and feet. So you can't just
Right.
say everyone has toes.
So
That's
let's say
very
on average
insensitive.
5.
Okay,
I think
okay.
that's a low average.
That's a very low average.
Say 7.5.
Yeah, you're probably around 7.5, 8, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll round up to 8.
Maybe
On
it
average,
could
8
even be
toes
higher.
per
It could be
person.
9. It could be close.
It could be
to
like 9.5. I think most people do have 10 toes.
You got so pissed because
but
I
there
said
is-
10 and you were like, we'll put 9.5.
There's the occasional 11. There is the occasional 11 or 12.
Right.
I
yeah.
mean, people do have extra toes sometimes.
But I think a lot more people have less than 10 than have more than 10.
Yeah, a lot of GA toe in this though, right? With
Yeah.
Sulin.
Oh yeah. And with
Yeah.
Avienda too. Avienda starts talking about toe. Sulin starts talking about toe. Sulin has toe.
But at the
And then-
end of the day, it's not the IEL and the IEL culture that Rand doesn't understand. It's just women.
That's right. They make fun of
Just
him.
women. They do.
Yeah. And then Rand makes the big mistake of asking if he has toe, and they're like, "Whoa, like
the worst
that
thing
is
you can-
not how this
You
works."
don't know that you have toe and you have to
That
ask.
get you.
Then you got
Yeah, that's the
toe.
worst. Yeah.
That's the worst. You don't-
You know what this is saying? This is why IEL are so freaking quiet. Because like, keep your damn mouth shut. If you just don't speak, you can't get toe. If you stand there as still as you can, you'll never get toe.
I feel like Toe might
Mm.
eventually still run into you standing there. Like it's that complicated.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to take much.
Yeah.
He stood there too long.
Do you have,
He looked at me wrong. We have toe.
Yeah, right.
so any thoughts on the toes?
Big ones, small ones, some the
ones
size of your head.
Yeah, I think Jordan just wanted to remind us about G.A. Toe. Like he
Yeah,
has
I
to
think
remind
so.
everybody every once in a while.
Well, yeah, because Rand does have a level of toe with Avienda. Avienda's got big toe with Rand and with Elaine. This toe's clearly going to cause issues when they have to become sister wives, unless she can't be forgiven for toe because that creates more toe.
Mhm.
So she's just going to have to be like
fill
the
your toe.
lesser wife or something. So
What do you think about Scylla's toe? We didn't even talk about that much.
Yeah, that's where it all started, right?
Yeah, it all started.
We kind of saw that coming when they were dipping out to go to
Shadowlog off.
Shadowlog
Look,
off.
they made her wear a dress, or she chose to wear a dress. Now that's like the ultimate.
I think it's funny that she thinks that is the ultimate way to.
Especially doesn't
pay
Avienda wear
the
like a
toe
dress
or
like
you do with the
thing
toe.
now? Don't the wise ones wear dress like items? Like
They wear the skirts.
They wear
Yeah.
skirts.
they wear
I don't think it's quite
skirts,
like
not
this.
a dress. Yeah,
That's not what I
Yeah.
pictured.
Oh no, she's
They're
wearing
different.
like a servant's outfit, right?
dress.
Like a servant's dress.
Yeah.
Do you think like does she meet her toe faster if it's worse? If it's like the worst thing she could possibly imagine?
Yeah, I mean, she's got to get back to serving
Suffering
Rand as
more.
quickly as possible. So that's the thing about it.
Yeah.
It just
I ju-
shows how crazy.
I just feel like the way they handle their toe is the same way like guys handle losing fantasy football. Like you have to do something crazy, like go to a restaurant with a sex doll or something like that because you lost your fantasy football league. Like,
Yeah. It's kind of obscure, like
Has that happened
betting
before?
scenes.
oh yeah, you ever see videos of like that stuff happening, like where someone loses fantasy football and they have to go like,
get a tattoo.
Never.
You ever watch
get
the
a
league?
tattoo or yeah, you watch.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like that's how Jordan wrote
Chalupa
toe. It's
Batman.
just like oh, you have to shave your head. Oh, you have to wear a dress to work. Like I mean, stuff like that. Like definitely very '90s vibe. Like you lost a bet, you got to do this. Anyway, so anything from all the toe before we move to Rand finally? I guess talking about the letter, the Seafolk letter that we've been talking about.
Well, they did. There's a part right before the letters, right? Where Mistress Hoffer mentions about these nobles coming into the city.
Yes. Okay.
She talks about. She names a few of the nobles. I don't. This is where I was mentioning before. There's a noble named Aemlin, where Jordan just it's just Camelin without the C. Jordan was really reaching for names there. But I think he mentions, right? Rand says, "Oh, these are like all of the nobles who opposed." Who were angry at Morghese and with Lord Gabriel was
Ravine, Gabriel.
yeah.
But none of them like
Lord,
sent an
and
announcement,
Marshall,
an official party or anything like that. They're just in
leaders to
town.
us.
Yeah.
Which Rand's not upset about. He's like, that's cool. But now I think his timeline is, as far as finding Elaine and getting her in power, he feels it's kind of sped up. He's like, all right, that's not too bad. These are the right kind of people you want there. But shit, I really need to get Elaine.
Yeah.
He keeps thinking about her, right? He's thinking about, oh, I wish Tom were here. And he's like, if Tom were here, he'd be with Elaine.
Well, then he's like,
Yeah.
if I find Elaine, I find Tom. Or if I find
Yeah,
Tom, I find Elaine. So he's got the right thought in mind. And clearly he needs to have her in place so that, A, he's not being bombarded and having a whole bunch of expectations put on him. But then the second, he can kind of leave that to her and be able to do his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And he's somewhat keeping the peace there by promising certain people that, yes, I do intend to put Elaine in power. And so the more time goes by and that doesn't happen, some of, I won't call them his supporters, but some of the people that aren't acting against him, they might act against him because they don't trust him.
Yeah.
So he's under the gun for sure.
the smart thing would be is to tell Egwene that he wholeheartedly wants to work with the other Aes Sedai, because then they're going to be more likely to disclose where they are.
But does
if he
he?
knew that's where Elaine was, maybe he would, but he doesn't know that's where Elaine was because Egwene won't tell him. We talked about this before. Like Egwene, yeah, you make promises, but at some point you got to realize like there's certain things that outweigh that
I'm not
promise.
saying you got to keep him. He's a king.
Mm.
He's a Lord Dragon. Like,
He's
we're
not
headed toward the
king.
end of the world. Like, we got to do what we got to do.
Yeah. Yeah. So Seafolk letters.
Yay!
Yeah. So he finally decides to take the letter out of his pocket, and then decides immediately that Bashir should just go handle it to calm him down.
He's like, he says something to the effect of like, I don't want to deal with these women. They sound really angry. Something to that effect.
Yeah. So
The
Bashir,
white-
go handle
the
this.
white spray before.
I've got
Bashir's
stuff
got enough
going on.
titles. Like he'll be a respectable emissary here.
Have we run into the white spray before?
Yeah.
Was that the boat
Was it-
that?
Well, the
Was
Was
that
that
spray
the one
is-
that the girls were on? Oh no, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
I
that's a
might be
different
confusing
spray.
that just with spray.
Okay.
Well, the spray
Oh, this
is
spray.
Bail
Bail
Delman's boat.
Delman's ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's might be where it gets confusing.
Yeah. Hmm.
The letters are so vague, though. It's like, the light willing, you will perhaps return to Camelin eventually. As I have traveled far to see, perhaps I will find time for it when you do. So it was like really cold. Like, now that you kind of slighted me, if I have the chance to see you, I will. And it's like, if it pleases the light, I will receive you on the deck of the white spray at your earliest convenience. So it's like,
Yeah.
Well,
no,
see, I didn't read it with that kind of attitude. I read
Per
it
my
with like,
last email.
yeah, I read it. I
Hermos.
read it. I read it from like the guy that's nervous about asking the girl out and doesn't want to risk rejection, so he only kind of hints at a meeting, like, kind of like if because you eat dinner and like sometimes I eat dinner and and sometimes I eat alone, but and that's okay if that's who I do. But like if you wanted to eat dinner with someone and maybe we do together, if you're okay with it, and if not, neither am I, because who does that? But if you are, like, call me. Like
these are
that's
two wave mistresses from two different clans. They're angling.
Well, I don't know. I see one of them, Zaida, is definitely angry. I don't know if Hareen is angry.
yeah. I'd go with the non-angry
They're
one.
angling. Like they're trying to hook him. I'm
Yeah.
wondering what that's all about. You know who he should really send? Matt.
no, Matt's
No,
gone.
No.
Yeah, he should send Matt. Let
But
Matt
it's
do
Sea Folk.
it.
No one cares. Sea Folk suck. They're just so like. I hate the Sea Folk. I'm sorry.
I feel like the Sea
Wait,
Folk have
Wait,
huge
let's dig into
eyes.
this Joe. That was very
They're just annoying. That's all I'm gonna say.
kind of. Let's
I think
what if they
that he's gonna need at some point?
yeah. Show me where they hurt you, Joe.
Yeah. What chapter?
Joe, he's like right there. That's where they got
You know why? 'Cause
Uh,
they're a pain in my
those-
ass. That's
one of those
why.
air pinches. Bink. They got him.
So he also gets another letter right after this from the Queen of Gillidan, Queen Aliandra, which is very flowery. Cousin, I think is how it starts.
Yeah, I was so confused by this letter. I was like, wait, what is? I had to read this a few times and be like,
Yeah.
what's going on here? Because I didn't remember this at all. So
Yeah. Addresses him as cousin and says other things, and basically makes it clear she's going to support him.
Yeah, I was very confused too. I was like, oh, okay, this works, I guess.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm still in the don't trust anybody mode. I feel like I'll be
Yep.
there forever in these books. So I'm like, okay, is this Semirog? Like who's what chosen one is behind these letters?
yeah, this is
So-
all like code, right? It's all written in
Right.
code.
Yep. And then, but as he's reading, the more important thing happens because the door opens, but no one comes in. I love how Robert Jordan writes going in. Like the door opens, no one enters,
The
and just
minute
continues
that was
reading.
said, I knew a gray man had entered. Like, because
Oh,
at first
yeah.
I listened to this part, and I was like, oh, gray man, because this
Yeah.
has happened before.
Yep.
I'm like, why are they still trying to send Grayman to kill him? That was really my number one question. Is like, we have learned that this does not work.
I mean, they can go right past the IEL with no
Well-
problem at all.
Well,
Maidens.
who? Okay, well, I got a question for you, Chris. First, I got two questions for you. Who sent the Gray Man? It might be the more important thing. And was there really the intention for the Gray Man to kill him?
Huh.
It was this chick from Gilladon, and the Gray Man's instructions were follow the letter because the letter's eventually going to get to him.
Oh,
And so the letter comes in, and right behind it is the Gray Man. And that, I mean, I was half joking about the Semirog thing being behind that, but I feel like it's going to be a Forsaken, obviously.
yep.
I agree with it. Definitely, it's Forsaken. We do know that much.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't do that coincidence stuff. Here's a letter and a Gray Man.
Could
Suspect.
also have been behind, like after Avienda.
Could it be? I mean, it could have. Did the Sea Folk? Is one of
Ah,
those? One of those wave mistresses? One of the
A
Forsaken
dark friend?
Dark Friends, or
I only want to say no to that because we've been running into Gray Men like before they were really aware of Rand. And my mind is still assuming it's the same person that's sending them.
So Samael.
Oh, you think that all of them are being sent by the same person?
I mean, obviously I could be wrong with that, but that's kind of, yeah, I guess that's what I've been thinking. Like that's their choice weapon, you know?
I think they mentioned right. He thinks it's Samael, right, Rand?
Yeah, I agree with
Yeah.
that. I do think it's like his answer to Rand killing his guy. And, you know, if he gets lucky and kills Rand early, great. If he doesn't, well, at least it tried.
Mm.
And then, of course, there are other people that we know are still out and about lurking in the shadows that we'll get to at some point tonight. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows?
So- But yeah, so
maybe all that power was to create a Gray Man. Maybe the Aes Sedai figured out how to create one.
Oh wow.
oh wow, that's
Then you probably got some Black Aja
Yeah.
like business going on here.
Ooh,
That'd be a lot. Or well, so we also know that in the White Tower there is one of the Forsaken.
Yeah.
At least according to Grendel.
right.
Hmm.
Yeah, Grindel said Messina's in the tower.
Yeah.
Right.
That was said. Yeah.
Maybe that was Plan B.
Yeah, which one of the? Oh, it's one of these. This is one of these Tower Aes Sedai Masana.
Could be. Could be.
Ooh.
Masana, Jacuzzi.
Let's not forget who actually killed the Gray Man. It wasn't Rand. Rand saw the Gray Man. Was getting ready to kill the Gray Man. The Gray Man pulled a knife out. Then a fireball comes streaking by.
Well, Rand
He turns
wrapped him up in wind and everything. Like Rand genuinely is, I'm gonna capture him and I'm gonna figure out who's doing all this.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Being
the
smart.
fireball flies by his head because our other mysterious, mischievous friend who has way too much control of the power for a
Taim.
male.
He's such a cool character, though. He's like,
but I'm on Ian's team. I don't trust him anymore.
he's mad chill. He's always just like, you know, he lets go of the power. He doesn't care that Rand's holding a ton of the power. Who's Theron's just telling Rand constantly to kill him.
Kill him.
He's,
Kill him.
he's
Kill him.
jealous. He thinks Tame's
jelly.
gonna take over. Yeah, he's totally jelly. That's what I
How
think.
many movies have we seen? How many stories are out there where the hero is about to capture somebody that could reveal some really important information, and then one of his buddies kills the dude real quick and does the whole, I felt threatened and I thought he was going to hurt you, but clearly did it just to cover up like revealing who he was.
Mm.
So again, I know it's a even different theory than the, Gray Man followed the letter, but I don't believe in coincidences. The fact that he was there, great. Well, and then you got the whole Taviran crap. So
he's like, yeah, I learned the trick. I learned how to travel through the gateway super quick.
well, he's kind of known. He's known how to do that. Well, he picked up on it quick. Yeah, Rand showed him, but he picked up on it quick.
Really quickly. We're supposed to be watching out for male channelers that pick up on stuff too quickly.
Yeah.
You think Taim's a dark friend?
He could,
At least influenced by him. It's just very suspect.
I'm gonna go one step further. Do you think he's one of the Forsaken?
Yeah, quite possibly. Maybe Damadred.
Mm.
Okay.
training up Rand's army just so he can then flip the army on Rand.
Yeah, he's doing some Order 66 shit with him. Like as he's training him, he's kind of like putting this little thing. So he just says execute Order 66, and they all turn on
He's
him.
linking with them. He's bonding with them.
Yeah.
So why would So let's
He's gonna
so
draw
then
on all their power and use it to blast.
so then he wouldn't have been the one then to send the Gray Man because that wouldn't make any sense, right?
No.
Yeah. Unless he sent the Gray Man intending to kill the Gray Man to get Rand more on his side.
Right.
It's smoke and mirrors.
Oh, thinking like he's going to save Rand to gain his trust.
Yes.
Yeah.
Smoke and
That's-
mirrors.
That's a timeless trick that's worked
Yeah.
in many TV shows and books.
Yeah.
The old bait and switch.
Not it's true.
Plus, the news he shows up with isn't even that great.
Yeah,
Hey,
isn't that weird?
Bro.
Like he's like, oh, there's
a dude. He can't channel yet, but he's gonna channel. He's gonna check it out.
This is super important. That's why I figured it
I'm
couldn't
gonna
wait.
go now. And he just
Okay.
leaves. He's like, I'm gonna go now too.
Also, didn't he like travel right into his bedroom?
His balcony,
Yeah.
right?
Or his like why? Why did he have to do?
Because
Why
he's, a
couldn't he?
creep, he's creepy. I bet you he was hoping to catch like Avienda sleeping in there or something.
He's like looking through the
Oh.
curtains.
You think he
Right.
comes when Rand's sleeping and just watches him?
He watches
Yeah.
him through a picture, like the eyes come out of a picture. And
He
Well,
he's
very
he's
watching.
carefully
watching
climbs
him,
up and
watching
spoons him
Avienda.
while he's sleeping.
Rand thinks it's Avienda. Ooh, honey, yes, that's right.
He was coming to see if Avienda was there. That's my
Yeah.
guess.
He must be into foot
Sexy
fetishes as well.
librarians.
Yeah,
He's
Yeah.
into sexy librarians as well.
with
Can you
toe.
open a gateway like?
Here, ladies.
Can you open like a little one and just like
I-
look through
I
it?
Just
I
peek
know
through, yeah.
It's really creepy when you wake up and someone's like just watching you. I mean, I know Chris, you don't have kids yet. Do you guys all have kids?
Yeah.
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 So you guys experienced this.
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah.
when my
Like you
kids
wake
were
up
younger,
and your kids just staring
Yeah,
at you like,
yeah.
they're just standing next to your bed, staring
Heavy
at you.
breathing in your face.
Yeah.
It's quiet too. Like my daughter
Across
do
the
that.
room.
I'm hungry.
like-
I want breakfast. Like,
I'd be like, no, forget about it. Like 2 a.m. I'd
Yeah.
like I'd open my eyes, and all of a sudden my daughter's just standing there staring at me at 2 o'clock in the morning.
No,
Like,
bro, she would
quiet.
be on. She would be across the room. We could have another one.
we have a camera in the kids' room, you know, like for the, you know, because they're
Right.
toddlers and the monitor or whatever. And my daughter knows exactly what the camera is, so she'll like be defiant and just stare at the
Oh my
camera, and like
God.
because of the night vision thing, it like her eyes glow,
Yeah.
and she's like so freaky, she's just staring at the camera. Like,
That's creepy.
I can't look at it.
So I like
No.
your idea, Jen, where like you just open a small gateway up, like
Yeah. Just peer
and you
through
just
it.
peer through it, and you could peep on people. That's
Yeah.
kind of creepy. They
Yeah.
should they should
Very-
use that in the book.
Creepaloo.
Yeah. Just see a pair of eyes floating in the air, just staring at you.
I poke them out. I'm telling you, my door will be locked.
It's not a glory hole, Chris.
Could be.
Oh my God, a glory hole gateways, Ian.
No,
Yeah,
I'm,
but
Gotta make
I'm
sure.
not.
Wait, you gotta make sure it
Somebody
doesn't close
closes
on
it,
you.
yeah.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
what
I'm not
you said.
confident in
It's
anything.
not worth it. It's not worth it.
Oh,
No.
God,
risk
Lord.
that.
Those edges are razor sharp, Joe.
You
Not
missed
worth
out.
have you
missed
seen the
out
Dragon
on
Scepter? You know
something.
how that was made. You know how that was made.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Snip, snip.
Snip, snip.
How moils work, though.
Yeah.
That's
Second
Let me
age.
get to a whole other point of view.
I saw it on YouTube.
Like-
I think I saw that. I think I saw that on YouTube once. That whole thing.
Oh, Lord.
That's what they use them for in the Age of Legends.
Breasts.
That's what their
Don't
original
search for
use
it,
was.
kids.
Making gateways.
So yeah, so this chapter or this section of the chapter ends with the guy trying to take the corpse away. That's how we end this. Anything from all this before we switch to our favorite dark friend?
Just more toe, right? Don't they say they have toe to Rand now because
Yeah,
he
yeah.
wants to keep it quiet?
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
more
well,
toe.
Like he
More
did
toe.
something to
Lots of
save their
toes.
honor with it by kind of twisting the truth. And
Yeah.
now they have toe.
Yeah, so lots,
Yeah.
lots of toes.
Which they seem to happily accept because that would be better than like the dishonor that they would receive from
Yeah.
I don't know, not being able to fight the Gray Man. I don't even know.
Not being able to even notice the gray man was in the room.
Yeah.
They completely failed, including Avienda.
Yep.
The maiden all around and a wise one would have toe.
Rand comes up with an idea, right? Doesn't Rand say he has an idea to help Sulin meet her toe? I wonder how that's going to work out.
Yeah, I tried dwelling on that. Like all of this made him think, "Oh, I have an idea," but I don't know what he means by that.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, we'll figure it out eventually. I'm not gonna.
Some of
waste any-
Rand's plans work out, some of them don't. And generally, when it has to do with the Aiel and he thinks he has it figured out, he usually just makes it worse. So
When I
I'm a
saw
little
the
nervous.
words Pad and Fane, I was like, we'll figure it out.
All right, moving on.
Moving
The last time we were on the show, we had a Pad and Fane point of view, right, Jen?
Yeah.
I think we did. And great
It was
back in the
Great
Great
Hunt.
Hunt,
Yeah,
right?
I don't
think it was a
remember.
Pad. I think there was a Pad and Fane section.
It's
It
the
was
one where
after.
he's like eating all the Trollocs are eating all the
Yeah.
people.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Ugh.
This is another
Classic.
This is another
Classic Fane.
disturbing
Toe
Pat and
soup.
Fane scene. So yeah, switch to
Yeah,
Pat and
well,
Fane.
Yeah, this one's worse.
Yeah, this one's a lot
Yeah.
worse. He's playing with the dagger. Playing with his dagger. There's a Murgil in the room that is terrified of Fane.
Sitting in the corner cowering, like Fane is a badass.
I have a question about this line because I had to read it a couple times and I'm still not sure of it. So he says he glanced towards where the Murgil sat, waiting his pleasure on the far side of the room. Whose pleasure was it? Waiting Fane's pleasure, or when the Murgil was waiting its pleasure?
Fane's pleasure.
Fane's
Okay.
pleasure.
Okay.
Yeah, he was just sitting there waiting for a command, or he was ready to jump on the dime to do whatever
It's-
Fane wanted.
Gotcha.
And then Murgil won't even look at Fane. Like won't even make eyeless contact
Yeah,
with Fane.
yeah.
Yeah, how do you know if he's looking
It's
at you
this-
or not?
Yeah,
You won't make
the
eye
eyes of
socket
the
contact.
the eyes of a Fane is fear, but this Fane is fears Fane. Like
Yeah.
it's rolls
The tongue
reversed.
twister.
Well, he
Yeah.
said it,
Yeah.
it did
It's
not
one face
Say it.
hearing Fane.
He had broken it of that long since. Like this Midrill's been there for a while, and Fane has tortured it to the point where all it wants to do,
Fane has created in this Murdrill with the Dark One created in him.
I see Chris found his microphone.
I did. I decided like
Got a
the
little limp microphone there tonight, huh?
yeah. I
He's been
decided to
leaning
go
back
ahead
the entire episode. Like I can barely hear him. And now he's like, "Hey guys."
But I mean, you got to think about it. Like, this is exactly what the Dark One did to Padden Fane. Like, broke him down to the point to where like he can't be in his presence without cowering. How he wants to make sure he like does everything he can to honor him. How he's driven and almost bonded to Rand. So now this
Creepy.
Murdrill is that way. So a little bit of payback in his own way. I like it.
Yeah, we're finding out that Padden Fane is truly the worst kind of evil. And we've already we've had hints of that, but this chapter definitely crosses that T, dots that I.
Yep. Well, a young boy comes in, Perwin Bellum, and his mother Nan, and they enter the room, and he brings news that someone tried to kill the Dragon Reborn with a gray man.
Is it garlic naan or just plain naan or like a Parmesan cheese naan?
Parmesan cheese naan's really good.
So good. Yeah.
Cheesy naan.
Yeah.
Padden Fane thinks the same.
Oh, well, now I feel bad for making that joke.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It just got dark in here.
It just got
I'm getting hungry actually. So
Yeah,
Oh, even worse,
Oh,
Joe.
even
Come on.
worse.
can we
Um,
wrap this up so I can go have a non.
Yeah. So yeah.
So- okay, I'm gonna stop.
We're gonna lose- we're gonna lose
Don't
people.
don't jump to the end, Joe. We're not there yet.
That's what she said.
That's so bad. Ugh. And we officially lost half of our listeners right there.
Right there. All right, our podcast is done now.
Just know that I feel bad laughing at all of that.
Yeah,
So.
I feel, yeah. Anyway, so Fane's angry about someone trying to kill Rand because Rand's his. Only he can kill Rand.
It's my toy.
And I guess she learned that.
he like rubs the kid's face, and all of a sudden he's convulsing.
Yeah, I didn't remember that part. That was, yeah. He got some weird powers. He doesn't know how he got them or how to use them.
More death
Yeah.
powers. Yeah.
Well,
But I mean, is this still the evil of the dagger? Because remember, that was part of what they talked about with Matt, that not only would he have issues, but it would just ooze and spread around him, and the longer he had it, the worse it would be.
I mean,
And the boy calls him more death.
yeah, he does.
Yeah, maybe
That's
the
right.
Lord
dagger
Morda.
poison is like coming out of him now.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was my thought. That was
Ooh.
exactly my thought. And then is that Mashin Shin? Or yeah, isn't it no, wait.
Masha-
What is
No,
the-
Mashadar.
Mashadar?
Yeah.
No, but
It's
just like when
Ma-
you stab somebody with the dagger, you just
Yeah, but
like,
is that like
start having-
like an extension of Mashadar?
Mhm.
Like this
Well,
would
it's
happen.
got to be related to that
Yeah.
evil somehow. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yep.
he's spreading it.
He doesn't
Yeah.
even know, right? He says, right, something from the Dark One, perhaps a bit from Arid Hall.
Yeah.
So he doesn't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, and he's you learn here that the white cloaks that he had, there's fewer of them because the ones that try to kill Rand last chapter were
Who called
his.
it? Who called it? This guy.
Yeah, that
This
they were
guy.
his white cloaks, and they captured a bunch of them, and I guess were they supposed to capture Rand then, like, and bring him to him, like, because he said he would have.
Oh no, he said
Killed
it was just a test.
But, yeah,
knew it
okay, it's
was
just a test.
see.
But yeah, they
Yeah.
would have been able to do it. But yeah, but he said if they happened to do it, he would have skinned them or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
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 So he just
were
like
dead one
they
way
were
or the
wasted
other.
pawns.
Yeah.
Mhm.
My favorite part is when he was talking about the dagger itself, and he was like, "I know it's there, but sometimes I just got to pull it out and touch it." And that just reminded me when I was 4 or 5. You remember those years?
Oh,
Yeah,
No, I
where
don't.
You just got to remind yourself that it's there. And
That stops at 4 or 5.
remember yesterday?
as you get older, you do it in private. But if
You
you have a
do?
toddler boy, every now and then they just go, "There it is. What's up?" And you're
Yeah.
like, "It is not a banjo. Stop that." You're like,
I had a teacher. I had a history teacher in 8th grade, and he would prop his leg up on the desk of the nearest girl,
"Oh
and
no."
then he would
Oh, no.
start adjusting. Like it got really uncomfortable. We
Oh,
actually
no.
did
God.
something about
That
it.
is no bueno. That's not
Not
good.
funny,
Yeah,
everybody.
about it.
Stop
It's
smiling.
Not funny. Yeah.
Oh my
He did
God.
Although
get fired for
that's a
something
little
like that.
sexist though, because like I hear that and I go, "Oh, what a jerk! He should be in jail." But like, if that English teacher,
Brushed her
It
boobs up
does.
in your face. you know?
No. Shouldn't
I'd have
be.
been, I'd have been okay with that.
In 8th grade?
Oh, that was
Oh,
senior year.
maybe not 8th grade. Yeah,
All
High
right, that's
school.
different. A
Senior
little
high
With
different.
his
Little
leg
bit.
Still
up
wrong, but a little bit
on the
different.
desk.
right. Yeah.
If she put her leg up and started like that guy did and started
Adjusting.
adjusting, you probably wouldn't have been felt the same way.
No.
Well, that's true. Dan's a man.
Oh my God.
Now I'm thinking of that scene.
This
in
show got
Step
really
Brothers
dark
where-
really fast.
where Lauren Hahn uses the urinal in the men's room.
All right, so let's move on. Yeah, and then the mom like starts pleading for Fane to not hurt her son, and all of a sudden that makes Fane sexual, get a little hornier or something because he's like, oh,
Yeah.
about it. He was like, "Oh, she's a pretty woman." Oh yeah.
it's been a while since I've been with a woman. Hey,
Well,
hey,
that's
how about
a
you
pretty
please
woman.
me? And he's like, wait, why is she struggling with this? Oh, this is Rand's fault. I'm going to hurt her. That's
yeah,
this
pretty
chapter.
fucked up.
Poor
Mhm.
woman.
Yeah. The end of this chapter did like really kill the vibe. I was like, he's killing a kid. The kid might survive. All right, I'm good with that. But then when he took it that far, I was like, there's so much joking you can do before you're like, I saw
Yeah.
this coming.
Mhm.
The moment he said, "Oh, she's such a pretty woman," I already knew
Yep.
that he had it in his mind that he was going to do something with her,
As evil
which
as
is
he
really
is.
sad. But
Mhm.
Yeah. I apologize to the listeners. I try to use humor to get through really awkward and crappy stuff. And yeah, I tried here and it just got worse. But it's only because this was really, really dark. Not a fan.
Yeah.
I do believe I said ew when I read that.
Yeah, it was the ew part. I didn't remember this part, so all of it, I was like, oh, they just reminded us how horrible Fane is and how
Yeah.
probably one of the most horrible people we meet in the books, if
Not
not the
Yeah.
most.
Not that this matters, but are they dark friends?
Yes,
She is,
but
yeah.
he mentions
Doesn't
about
matter.
like
Yeah.
I'm just
like them being dark friends and like her thinking that right she would never really have to do anything, something like that. Like he makes a
Yeah.
comment.
They didn't know what they were getting into, sort of thing.
Yeah.
she was given the same T-shirt Patton Fane was, not realizing that it came with a contract.
Or
Yeah.
paid
Patton
Pater's
Fane, but
t-shirt.
Pater.
Yeah.
She's given the same T-shirt as Pater.
Yeah. She was at the same concert, got the same T-shirt.
Yep.
Exactly.
Signed up.
She's like,
Didn't know what she was
I gotta
into.
do what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
pretty gross. Actually, extremely
Yeah,
gross.
Yeah.
This is that
and that's what
moment.
in this
Chanel
chapter-
likes to remind me that there are moments where you are quickly shown that Robert Jordan and George Martin were friends. And this is one of those situations where I was like,
Oh yeah.
there we go. There's
Well, here's the thing. George R. Martin would have started describing what happened next.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the difference. Is where it just ends the
Jordan
chapter
leaves it
with
to the
Jordan
imagination.
just ends it. Whereas
Yeah.
George R. R.
which is
Martin would have
weird
gone.
depending on the type of person you are. I'm a very graphic person in my head, so
Yeah, I guess. But yeah. But also it goes back to something else. Like I remember when the TV show was coming out, and a lot of people were talking about the rating, and there's hints that it was going to be TVMA, even though it ended up being TV-14. And I remember reading someone like made this big rant about how it can't be TVMA because this book is not. There's nothing bad in the book. I'm like, do we read the same book? Like, I know it glosses over stuff, but it's there. Like,
Yeah.
It's
And again,
yeah.
like
put
it's
certain
very
things on the
adult themed.
screen. If you
It's not-
choose to put certain things on the screen, you have to show, not tell.
It's not YA. Like, and that's I think what someone was trying to make the argument that Wheel of Time's YA, like young adult. And I'm like,
No.
no, no.
There's plenty of stuff in there that's a bit much.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they fade to black on a lot of stuff, but yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we had. Anything we missed from these chapters?
Nobody spoiled us on the next two chapters, and I'm really disappointed.
Yep.
No.
We switched point of views completely, so that's why.
Good
Yeah,
chapter.
for
Next
real,
chapter's a
like-
good chapter. Go read it when you're
Oh
done
no,
tonight.
no, you can't read it tonight because we're doing a
you
live.
can't?
Yeah, we're doing
Oh,
a
we're
we're
live
doing a
live.
live read on Thursday. Yeah,
Oh,
for patrons.
oh,
For
that's not too
patrons.
bad.
For
That's
patrons.
only
yeah.
2 days. It's only
Yeah.
2
Okay.
days.
I can wait.
I normally wait till the day of anyway, so that would be me reading ahead of time.
Yeah, this could be you're gonna be early.
Yeah. So, anything we missed? Any questions you guys have for them?
You got some good thoughts there. I like some of those predictions you have
Yeah.
there. Some
When
of
you
them
guys-
are right and some of them are wrong.
I mean,
That's
you
all
can
I'm
ask him
gonna
like, when do you think Batman's gonna show up? Like, ask him.
say.
Yeah,
You spoiled
yeah.
Batman already? Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
damn
It
it.
was very early on. The Black Tower actually came on. Andrew
Jen,
and
you
Josh.
said you had a lot you wanted to say, so we're just waiting on you to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Rand opens the gateway to Gotham and has like one chapter of a little side quest with Batman.
I knew it.
So there
I
you
knew
go.
it.
That's
would
the
be
end
dope.
of this book. That's like the really good part that everyone.
Why
wants
else
to
learn to
know.
do the gateways if you're not going to go to Gotham?
Right,
Yeah.
you have to go to different universes.
Obviously.
Yeah, they kind of trade notes,
Oh.
like the whole Joker Fane.
Yeah.
Like, how do you capture? What should I do? This
Ah.
and that there. So-
Right.
So
That's a
It's pretty
that's a
good.
good question. Assuming that there are other worlds and gateways can go anywhere, could you open a gateway to some other planet? Like, what is the limitations of gateways?
We
is
got to know
all,
where
like,
you're.
this
You
is
got
more
to know where you're
in
going.
the No,
Well, you got to
not-
know where you are,
you have to know
right?
where
You
you
gotta know where
are.
you are.
You
Yeah.
can't open gateways
So-
to mirror worlds, though, right?
no, but you can open gateways to other planets if the circle is large enough. But you can't. I don't think you can open a gateway between worlds, like between
There's going to be a
realities.
next book, and it's going to connect to
Yeah.
the Cosmere, and
It's a little different.
Connect the
I'm
cosmos.
gonna
From a
spoil
physics
something for
standpoint,
you.
is the further away the point is that you're trying to punch a hole to, it would take a tremendous amount of energy because that's more that you have to bend before you make that hole.
Yeah, you got to
Mhm.
think about the closest star to us is over 4 light years away. That's a long. That's a really long ways. Like,
Yeah,
it's far.
It's a big bend.
It's a big bend. That's the closest one. And the closest sun-like system's 12 light years away. And why I know this, I don't know. It's Tau City. But anyway, so- on that note, favorite character.
Ooh.
I felt really bad for the little boy. He was super excited. Like, he thought he was doing such a great thing. Like, just imagine 8-year-old self running in. I have great news, or I have news in general, and I know you'll be super happy.
I have news in general.
Yeah, like I'm gonna please you. I'm a people pleaser. And he's like, yes, boy. I see Lord Voldemort. Avada Kedavra. And then
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
It'd be more like Crucio.
Yeah.
But he gets my honorable mention.
For Perwin.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna have to go Rand. I like the way
Rand.
he handled. I like the way he handled the Aes Sedai, and I haven't gone Rand in a while, but I like that little interaction there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite character.
I like
Nobody-
Tame's. I like Tame's quick intro and outro to the chapter.
Got something super important. This kid that doesn't do anything yet. See you later. Pew.
I thought you might want to. I gotta go.
I mean,
Exactly.
that being said, this kid probably plays some major role that we just don't even know yet.
I'll spoil something.
Not yet.
Somebody in one of the characters in these 2 chapters dies by the end of the book.
Oh yes.
I don't remember, so I can't even tell you if that's true or not. So
I'm trying to remember if
Man.
that's true.
I'm
Like,
pretty sure. I'm pretty
I don't
sure
remember.
1 or 2 of the characters that Fane talks to dies before the chapter. Before the next chapter.
So that's believable. Yes.
Yeah.
I want to know if that fade makes it.
Yeah.
That's a good
Is he just
I-
watching the whole thing?
I don't remember if any of these
Yeah, he's just in the
He's,
corner.
that fades. He's trying to not be seen or heard. He does not want.
He's in the corner.
Can a fade close their eyes? Like, how do they
Hmm.
not look at something?
How do they look at something?
No, but how do they not look? What do they
How
do?
do they
like
look?
this? I don't
Cover
know.
their
Magic.
Cover your eyes.
You know what I'm having a hard time with?
No.
Think I have a favorite character from these chapters?
You don't have to. Okay.
I really don't. Like
Just
nobody
say,
really.
just say Telmanis, and everybody's happy.
It's Avienda because she came out naked, right, Chris?
Wait.
Come out naked.
What's the name of the male Aiel that tells Rand that his
Oh,
problem
yeah.
isn't understanding Aiel? It's the
Understanding
problem is
women.
understanding women.
That was a
I don't
female
remember the name of the
character.
He's a winner.
Oh,
think it's
yeah.
That
female.
guy-
That was a female character.
I think it might have been 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
None
so
of
there it
them.
is.
I like
Whoever it is who
Sulin.
gets sent
I'm
the.
thinking Sulin.
Sulin. Okay.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
who I was gonna pick.
Too bad.
No.
She's
I'll
got
get-
some really sexy toe with that dress.
Yeah.
That dress shows her toes.
That's probably all it
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah. Anyway, she has female feet.
Oh yeah.
How old do you think
Yeah,
Sulin is?
I'll give it to Dwayne.
Fluent's old.
I just broke Ian. There was this,
think I-
there was this kid in our this is back in high school. There's this kid in our high school class, and he had a crush on a girl in our class,
Socially
And-
awkward
socially awkward kid,
to the
and
maximum degree.
and he was trying to like I guess talk to her, and like he got really like shy, and like it was a cute like not trying to make fun of this kid, but like he's like chokes and says like, "I like your feet. You have female feet."
Yeah. He compliments them as female feet. Oh, that was.
Well, that's good. It's not the worst thing you could have said.
Well, also when he gets nervous, he starts shooting fireballs. So right after that, and the class chuckled, he started fireballing people, and then
Oh my god!
we were shooting fireballs back and diving by tables.
Oh, then we
and
told him
the
he
teacher
accidentally
lost
hit the girl that he
control.
we told him that he hit the girl that he likes the fireball, and he tries to throw an ice ball. Like he
This
got
kid
really
was
upset.
autistic.
He's like, "Oh no, put the
He
fire
was
out."
high functioning autistic.
This was in high school, so we just
This
ran
is
with
high
it.
school.
That was
Aw,
hilarious.
poor kid.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I know.
Did he? At least he didn't start crushing people's heads.
I'm gonna give it to
That's
Egwene.
another story.
That's a whole other story. Yeah.
Egwene at least held true to her word and did not use Gawain. So I have given the Lady Aes Sedai a lot of crap for their misuse of people. So here she went doing the right thing. So I'm gonna give it to her.
Okay.
She also gave Rand a lot of good advice too.
She did.
Mhm.
And if Rand hadn't been such a butt and done what she said, he may have gotten more out of the interaction through her. So she kind of was the Moraine in this moment. And he did not take the advice. So I'm gonna give it to her tonight.
Yep.
Not
I
literally,
think
but-
I think Egwene's
Just like Gawain.
morality. Yeah, Egwene's morality is more confusing
Giggity.
than Toe, and it's getting even more and more confusing.
Mhm.
Like,
Huh.
I'm gonna protect this person, and I'm gonna keep my word here, but then I'm gonna act kind of like an Aes Sedai here, and then I'm lying about myself. But you know,
I
anyways,
think we're
I don't
getting
know.
a Moraine chapter soon.
Yeah,
like spinning in the void, trying to figure out which way is up.
Tumbling, grabs the sword, fights the Balrog.
Yeah, there you go.
Mhm.
So next time on the Will Reads, we'll be covering 2 chapters, as we mentioned before, 29 and 30, and those chapter titles are Fire and Spirit
That's the
and
one.
To Heal Again.
Oh, is this gonna be where they
Oh.
finally fix Swan?
Yeah.
Oh.
Nice.
Why
I
not?
like
You
you.
can dream.
That's
What's
the
wrong with
next chapters.
Swan? You have a problem with her, Chris?
She can't channel at the moment.
Oh, that's right.
You know.
So that's next time. So should be fun. We're looking forward to it. At least I am. So how can people find Talk Around Riyadh? How can we thank you guys once again for coming on? Thank you guys so much. How
Thanks for
can
having
people
us.
find you? Support you.
They can come to the Wheel Reads YouTube page and watch this episode over and
Yeah.
over again. No, go to www.talkaroundriyadh.com. That's easy enough to spell, right? It's right here in our names, but without the little apostrophes, not parentheses. Thank you. Jen has parentheses on hers, but yeah, just go to that site, or wherever you listen to podcasts, just search us. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, all those great places. We're all there.
Awesome.
There you go. Sounds great. And how we can be found is at thewillreads.com. So yeah, www.thewillreads.com. Also, you can join us on Discord there. We have a large Discord. So does Talk Around Riyadh. So join at your own risk. Ours is very, very. I think you guys have roles now too, right? Where you can.
Yeah, we've become a little bit more spoiler friendly since the show came out, but most of the action's in the spoiler area. So
Spoiler, yeah. So
Yeah.
we have spoiler-free sections and very, fairly active ones where people can go through the books and give their reactions as first-time readers and pick a role, so you're not spoiled. And also join conversation. I'm probably going to hang out a little bit in our Discord afterwards in our Badger Barrow voice chat, just to hang out if anybody wants to talk. So after the show, feel free to come over and hang out if you want. Also, you can support us. Find links on our website to support us lots of different ways. We have merchandise at our merch store. We have Patreon, which is the best way of probably supporting us, the easiest way of supporting us. And you can get things like access to us, Ian and Chris live react to next week's episode. So
It's gonna be great.
Fun. It's gonna be fun. So yeah,
It's gonna be an hour of me going, what? What? Whoa! No way!
Yeah, exactly. And then feel free to like us, review us, go to social media, follow us, all that great stuff. And that's all I got from this week, guys.
Also, I forgot
Until
to
next time. Oh, I retract that statement. Go ahead.
The Rings of Power.
Mhm.
I liked it, Ian. I did.
There's
I
a
know
lot of
you had
potential
me-
there.
Yeah, a lot of potential. I mean, I went in with the idea of don't think Lord of the Rings, and since I thought that
That's
way,
the key.
it was phenomenal. I was like, this is really well put together, and the music is great.
Yep.
Like,
If
they
you
did
let
a
it be its
really
own
good
thing,
that's Bear
and don't try and
McCreary.
compare it.
So just a little side note. I guess this is another personal life story. My wife and I watched Rings of Power together because she wanted to see it, and we watched it the night Sunday night. So as soon as it was over, I was like, "All right, I'm gonna watch House of Dragon now." And she was like, "Well, I've never watched Game of Thrones." So I was like, "Well," she was like, "I'll just watch this episode with you." So she watched that episode with me, and then she was like, "How do you keep all these different things separate in your head?" Because I'm sitting there watching, like, going from Rings of Power to House of Dragon, like, and I'm confused right now. Like, and like, I was like, they're completely different worlds. What do you mean? She's like, I just don't understand this whole Game of Time thing. And I was like, okay, that's my new favorite thing. Now.
She's like fantasy, all these fantasy look alike to me.
Yeah. No, she likes the fantasy stuff, but she definitely takes, like, she doesn't understand how I can, like, watch 2 shows and be reading Cosmere and reading Wheel of Time all at the same time and keep it all separate. I'm like, because they're completely different. So
it's the same way you can watch basketball, football, and baseball, right? And know what's going on. All those, right? That's the same thing.
Exactly.
Same thing.
Same.
And then when Bo Jackson like shows up in all of them, you're like, "What?"
That's like
Crossover episode.
that's like Michael McElhatton, right? He's like, wait, I thought he was in Game of
Yeah.
Thrones. Now he's on Wheel of Time.
Yep.
yeah, exactly. So once again, that's all I have for this week.
He's the Bo Jackson. Sorry.
Until next time.
Peace.
Okay, bye.
Guys.
He is the Bo Jackson.